Good morning, night, evening, day, afternoon, guys. How you all doing? Welcome on, welcome on. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. No, this is Monday. What the fuck am I saying? Happy September is what I'm trying to say. How do you stream again? How you doing, Ground Zero? Create, Icy Dolls, Zero. Welcome, guys. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so we got a bunch of stuff to check out today. Let's turn down the music a tiny bit. Yeah, maybe like this. Hello, hello, hello. Alright, first of all, today we're gonna check out the Grimmest Adventure 184, which I did miss.
Good, you're back.
Been forever since I have seen you. Welcome back and hope school has been going well.
Yo, Nimitz, thanks for the 17 months. Welcome back, appreciate the support. So, yeah, 184 Misadventure is out, right? Unusual Itemized. Welcome in Blender. And this one is basically talking about like some new items. Nothing all too crazy, I guess. This Priscilla plushie was available, I think, until like last week, not anymore, and unfortunately. And yeah, there's like some other item reveals, right, that have been out. And last time, right, they showed the Ascension mode, which was a pretty big feature that they show, right? This is pretty nice. This time around, it's some items, but I mean, we can like just basically look out, check out the items and like, well, see what they do. So we have Mythical Aeon's Eye. This is one of the new items that's going to be available to you to find, I guess, randomly in the Thanks of Astakarn expansion. This one is a Lightning Aether damage amulet, granting you cold to lightning conversion, poison wit resistance, CDR, and then a bunch of stuff to abilities that we already know, right? Like, we already know all of these abilities. +1 to all skills, Arcanas, the Reap Spirit, Hellfire Mine, Maelstrom, Artifact Handling. All of those sound familiar to us. And then it has like full wit and cold damage to Aether conversion to Reap Spirit. And it also gives you Lightning Aether resistance reduction to Wind Devil, as well as the Thermite Mines. So this doesn't seem like any interesting so far. However, then they also like showed this picture, which shows you not only like a visual effect change on Reap Spirit, on the tether, on the attack, right? But also it shows a different pet. I don't know why they made it yellow, when like usually for Aether you have this teal color and yellow is usually for physical damage, right? So I have no idea why they made this yellow. Maybe they will recolor this or they will like change this to physical. I have no idea what this is supposed to be. However, there's one thing here now, and that is also the text here. Reap Spirit's Wraiths scale with player bonuses, right? Usually Reap Spirit scales with pet bonuses, but this amulet will change Reap Spirit to scale with player bonuses. So what's happening here is they're doing like a pet change, right? Like a pet swap, which you can do with pretty much any item already now in the game, but also changes the scaling of that pet, right? Because they're changing the entire pet, and now it scales differently. So that's kind of cool. Looking forward to see like some player scaled Reap Spirit builds, maybe. But yeah, we'll see. Next one, Brand of the Crimson Company. This one is, I think, a bit more interesting to me personally, because I am, as you know, a default attack enjoyer, right? And this one has a weapon pool skill as a granted skill, Disorienting Strike, a shield combat technique that activates default weapon attacks. So if you have a shield and a melee weapon, or shield and a gun, this will activate and, well, give you like another weapon pool skill, which apparently looks like this, right? If you're melee, it looks like this, right? Kind of like a... Yeah, it looks like that one Titan Quest ability, right? What's it called again? Like from Defense Mastery, right? And then if you're using a ranged, like, for example, one-hand crossbow, which is a thing not only in the Grim Dawn Leagues, but also is going to be a thing in Thanks of Astakarn, it's going to look like this, right? I mean, the melee one looks more interesting, to be honest, but okay. Here they are. And the other interesting thing about this item is, not only does it give you this Disorienting Strike, but also it has like another spoiler in here, right? So it has like physical damage, flat physical damage, attack speed, armor. Seems pretty good for like any physical damage melee character. Maybe even like warlords will like this a lot. But then also it has like +2 to Bloodborne, which is, well, not only a From Software game, but also a skill from the new Berserker Mastery apparently. And it gives you flat damage, percent damage, like physical damage and internal trauma damage to Bloodborne. I would assume this is like a buff. Like either single buff for yourself or like AoE buff for the entire party. Not quite sure about that, but I think that's what's happening here. Otherwise, usually you don't see percent increased damage on skills like other skills that usually don't have these. It's usually like attached to buff skills, especially on skill modifiers. And then it also has 20% chance to be used to Reaping Strike, which is one of the new like skill modifiers coming with Fangs of Astakarn, and a 30 physical damage conversion to Reaping Strike. So Necromancers will love this as well, and this will increase your chance to use Reaping Strike by another 20%. So if you are a Necro, right, and you use this metal, and you use a shield as well, which is not something Necromancers usually do that much, so you can have...
Good, you're back.
Without like skill bonuses.
Agrim Misadventure is here. Last time 311, we unveiled the entirety of the absolutely massive Ascension mode coming with Fangs of Astakarn next year. Today's update may not be quite as groundbreaking, but you really cannot go wrong with some hot new weapons from the artists. But before we get into hot weapons, we should really talk about today's sponsor, the plushie you all voted for. Yes, for a few more days, you can make Bistschlia, matron of plushies Ariel. Don't make Bistschlia sad.
Bistschlia. Oh my god. Thank you so much for the resub, Blender. I appreciate it. 37 months. Welcome back to the Bloomers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And welcome in Shazba, Steve Risen, Bella Hill. Welcome in, guys. Hello, hello, hello. So what was I saying, right? So if you're a Necromancer, right, and you use a shield, and of course you use this metal as well, then you get 45% chance from the item, right? And then like 25% chance here, 26% chance here, and if you get like some more skill bonuses, I mean, this already gives you like +2 to Reaping Strike, right? It's like 26, so it's quick math, failing at quick math real quick. Was like 50, wait, it's like almost 100%, right? It's like 97%, right? If you have like 12 points here, and you have like a 97% weapon pool skill chance. That's pretty interesting if you're like a Necromancer, right? Because you would have like a 46% chance to use Reaping Strike, 25% chance to use this, and then like another 26% chance to use Necrotic Edge, but maybe you, I mean, depending on like what other secondary you have, you probably won't even use this. This seemed especially interesting if you're like an Oathkeeper secondary, right, like an Oppressor. But Oathkeeper has like really strong weapon pool skills too, like Smite and Shattering Smash, so... Not sure. What the fuck is this Adobe doing here in my face? Yo, Kerbay, welcome, welcome. But more importantly, you would have Righteous Fervor, right? Like a default attack, weapon attack replacer, which Necromancer does not have, so you kind of want to like use that probably. I mean, I see this as being a Oppressor medal, but of course it can also be a whatever Necromancer and Berserker is gonna be called medal, right? So you play like Shield, Necromancer, and Berserker, which is, I believe. Don't you really like know that one? Is it like a Reaver or something like that? People have kind of like stopped guessing, right? Wow, this guy's like doing 9 guesses at a time. Oh no, we don't know Necromancer yet, actually. The ones we do know are... Oh yeah, we know Evoker, Thana, and Reaver. Oh yeah, Reaver is Nightblade. Okay, we don't know Necromancer yet. Cycle Pump, what the fuck is that even? Who this? Hello? Welcome on Buntalos. But yeah, pretty interesting medal, not gonna lie. That's pretty cool. Welcome, Tyler. Yeah, okay. shield go bonk, ranged weapons go bonk too, and this is, I would assume, also the Vidurian suppressor that he's wielding as in his right arm here, which is a piercing one-handed ranged, well, not gun, but crossbow, I guess. This one has built-in damage reduction and fire to pierce damage conversion, which is pretty helpful. But then it also has points dual blades, piercing damage to dual blades, and weapon damage to Bergothian shears. Now, like, what the fuck? Aren't these like melee only? Well, if you have skills like these on a ranged weapon, then I would assume it enables dual blades on ranged weapons too. Now, will that allow you to dual wield ranged weapons? Probably not. It just allows the skill to exist, like to work on your build, but it probably won't allow you to dual wield ranged like weapons. And either way, that seems like a pretty good crossbow for, like, if you go Inquisitor secondary, right, or conviction bonuses here. Belgo Shears is a dual wield weapon pool skill, so it would have to enable dual wield. I'm not so sure actually. Like, it could enable Belgothian Shears to work with one-handed ranged and two-handed, like, dual wield ranged. Maybe. Because, like, Belgo Shears is like dual wield melee, right? Logically, I mean, the thing is, like, you have to think about Grim Dawn logic, right? And, like, by Grim Dawn logic... this is a melee dual wield bonus, right? Like, the thing is, if... They could do whatever they want here. Like, if they give a bonus to dual blades here, if they wanted to work, they could make it work with one hand or with two hand, like with dual wield. And the same thing for Belgo Shears. Like, if you change this and you make it work, like, they have to change it anyway to work. Depends how they do it. Like, it could work for dual wield only, or it could work with, like, one suppressor as well. No new mastering grim tools? Well, I mean, the expansion is not out yet, right? Not yet, not yet. Do you have any other item that doesn't work without any other skill?
We speak at last.
Well, this one doesn't. Yo, BP Frosty, welcome, welcome. I mean, this one doesn't. Like, it doesn't say like it enables dual wield by default. So we shall see, we shall see. I'm not convinced it does yet, but it might. You can't use one-hand's Promise Strike? But with the axe you can. Yeah, but with the axe you can do one hand or dual wield. Right, so it's like... why wouldn't you be able to do one hand or dual wield with this one as well? It's like the same logic. It's a ranged melee weapon, clearly. But Primal's two-hand only. Yes. Hello, Big Mac, Real Fine Pork, welcome guys. Psychopomp is someone who transfers souls between the worlds of the living and the dead. Oh, interesting. I mean, with Stormrend there's also a hidden bonus, but like I literally just told you how like the hidden bonuses work. And like, you can either do it this way or that way, but you, like, the player won't see it anyway, because it's hidden anyway, right? They could make this work with one hand, like with only one gun, or like with one crossbow, or like with two crossbows. Like, you can't tell here, because it's hidden either way, and you can set it up internally to work this way or that way. Would I play PoE2, TQ2, or both? I will probably play Grim Dawn Community Season 7 and then Fangs of Astakarn. But also TQ2 and PoE2 probably. I will play like all three as much as I can. We'll see. What he said is that there is an item that lets you reduce promise strike with one hand, that this could be similar. Are you talking to me or to him? Because I mean, I think we're like both him and me are aware that we're talking about the same item. Season 7 confirmed before PoE 2. Maybe. A crossbow that shoots knives, what will they think of next? Oh yeah, that's also like changes the visual projectile, I guess. Okay. Then we have Widowspine. The Widowspine has a very innovative physical to acid conversion to Ages of Men here. Doesn't like the base class already do that? I think it's like fire to acid, right? Probably. Okay. I mean, then it gives you like poison acid resistance reduction because of frailty. I mean, every sentinel in the world of sentinels will love this, and sentinels like poison acid sentinel is not a bad build, right? Like this is just ridiculous. And then more interesting is this part though, right? The acid grenado, and it has 40% retaliation damage added to attack here, which is insane. Like I already made a build for this, like without this item of course, but like around Rata Grenado. It was like a, well, acid build as well. Acid Shield Breaker. And honestly it really like works. And this is like just another 40% on top, so this is not bad at all. I'd be surprised if you can't dual wield with my blade in this weapon, or it could be that you can proc Belgo Shear without dual wield. The thing is, what you certainly won't be able to do with this, because it does not have modifiers to any of the other Nightblade weapon pool skills, is that it will not enable you to use AQC or Execution or Whirling Death, right? Like these three you will not be able to use with this crossbow. Like I'm 100% certain about that. Because unless it like specifically allows you to use the skill, then it won't. Unless they're like all hidden modifiers in here. Like the thing is, items can have 6 skill modifiers now instead of 4, instead of 3. Or like 6 different skills rather. So it could be like Blood Fangs, Presence of Virtue, Dual Blades, Bergothian Shears, and like 2 more. But yeah, that's probably not gonna happen. Like they probably won't do like hidden modifiers that are completely hidden. Anyway, there's like another skill here that we haven't talked about yet, and that is a Blood Fangs, right? Blood Fangs is a skill from Berserker as well, and it has 10% chance to be used as a skill modifier from Vidurian suppressor as well, which means it is guaranteed to be a weapon pool skill. So Berserker has guaranteed the Bloodburn like buff, right? And then a Blood Fangs like weapon pool skill. Which might be like a dual wield melee only skill as well, because Berserker is also gonna be, well, it's gonna have like multiple skills, but like one of the focuses or like one of the themes of Berserker is also gonna be like dual wield melee. But this is obviously a ranged item, so this could also enable Blood Fangs for range, similar to what it's doing for Belgo Shears. Yeah, the plus chance is a new type of modifier that, together with the charges modifier, that's also new. Like these are only gonna be like available in Fangs of Asticorn, yeah. That's Fangs of Asticorn tech basically. Okay, this item also like, well, converts Grenado to look like this, which is literally more or less like how the Acid Grenado also looks like in the League. I guess there's a new look in the base game, it was not a new look in the Leagues. And then they're also showcasing one of the like awakened items now, right? So as you can see, and as I also was already like assuming in the past, it's basically like a legendary version of the blues, which gets some more stats and skill modifiers on top, right? But from what I'm seeing here is it's basically
Good, you're back.
Yo, Gravity Shifter, welcome back.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Appreciate the support. Unless there's an item which allows dual talents to work with range. Also, that flat is kind of wasted then. The flat on dual blades, you mean? Wait, or what flat? I think I read your sentence too late. Howdy, howdy. Welcome on, Korea Putta. So yeah, these legendary items, or like awakened items, are basically legendary versions of blues. They, I think, don't have like a system where it's like a legendary affix added to the item, which I initially thought they're gonna do. This looks more like a completely new item that you, like mod-wise, from a modding perspective, this is probably the same as like a standard legendary item, like literally the same. But you can't like obtain it in any other way apart from like awakening this to that. Like it's not gonna be a drop that you can get. You can only like awaken this, and that's like the only way you get this one. Yo, Kibenchi, hello, hello. So yeah, this gives you also onslaught charges and charges to Shadow Strike. Now this one is like charges to Shadow Strike. This basically like allows you to press the button twice, right, in a row before it goes like completely on cooldown. Whether the charges will recharge independently from each other, or whether like you will only start the cooldown once you've like expired all charges, we will see. I would assume they like work independently from each other. But this is like a skill modifier type that we've also like seen already in the past. Whereas the +2 onslaught charges are charges that we have not seen yet. And onslaught could be a default attack replacer like savagery. And then +2 onslaught charges would mean maybe that you get either like more charge levels per attack, so you get to like the max quicker, or you get like +2 max charge levels, or you start out with like 3 instead of 1 when you start like attacking right away. Or it could be like a totally new different system, right? Like we don't know yet. This could be many things really. I don't know, what do you guys think? +10 charges to blitz when? Oh my god. How can you change your damage from fire to acid? Is there a way to change it this way? It depends a lot on like your skills. Like it depends a lot on this individual skill. But there's also ways to convert fire damage to acid globally. Old Keeper has some of that, right? If you go into Path of 3 at the very back of the mastery, this one has like fire to acid conversion, like global conversion. This converts all of your fire damage to acid. And you can also get this fire to acid % conversion on gear as well, right? Like on items. But also some other skills, it's easier, right? On other skills, it's easier to get the conversion, because for example on Ages of Menhir, you have already the skill modifier called Ages of Thorns, which converts all fire damage to acid right away. Right, this also works. Yeah, I think the thing that makes the most sense would be like +2 max charges on something like Savagery. But from a modder's perspective, that seems a little weird. So I'm kind of like confused what this is gonna be really. Like this might be a totally different kind of skill that we've never seen before, like a new template basically. Yeah, I'm not sure about it really. Like people said it might be and it could be, but it could be like something totally different actually. I mean, but if it was charges, right, it would just say like +1 charge, or like it would say like +2 charges to onslaught. But it specifically says onslaught charges, so it has to be something different. Maybe the skill does something at max charge and spends them, maybe. Yeah, if it was just like additional charges to a cooldown based skill, it would be the same wording as Shadow Strike. And it could still be like cooldown based, but it's definitely something else than this one, right? A cooldown based weapon pool skill. Yikes. The more charges, the more... I think it might be like something completely new, actually. Not sure though. I mean, we're getting like at least one new skill template, like one new type of skill. And the expansions, right? We're getting at least the shapeshifts. I mean, they have to like be their own kind of like skill type. Onslaught triggers other charges, maybe? Maybe? I mean, this is a skill modifier that's specifically designed for Onslaught itself, right? Like, the entire template is, like, made just for that, I feel like. Or, like, well, not the entire template, but, like, the entire... It's like an entry, right? It's like an entry in the template that's made just for Onslaught. And that's kind of interesting. Anyway, with a few exceptions, Awakened Epics are intended to take place down supported by the original item and bring them up to the level of power level of legendaries. Yes, okay. And then, no idea what's going on here. Seems shady, right? Now, this could be... I don't know, like you being able to wear some item or some set that gives you Wendigos as pets, probably. It looks pretty cool as well. And that's it, right? Next Grim Misadventure is gonna be in 3 weeks from now. We're gonna check back in 3 weeks here. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about like these items and like the skill modifiers here. How to fix blue items, make them purple. I mean, yeah. I was talking like when I was talking to Zentai at some point on Discord, he basically said, like, we were talking about like how to make blues better and like what we did in the league to like try to make them more viable, and he basically said like blue items shouldn't even exist. So yeah, that was pretty much his opinion, I guess. Which I'm not sure if I agree with that fully, but it is certainly like one take, right? Just delete them from the game. But they can't, like, delete them. They just can't, because Grim Dawn is a base game plus DLCs game, and it doesn't quite work like that. Like, it would work in a game to... Like, in a game like How to Exile or plus Epoch, you could do that kind of change, but in a, like, game like that, you can't. I don't know, maybe it would like fuck up the base game balance like way too much, right? And also you would have like no uniques below level 50 at all. Which are all like, I don't know, like all of these are reasons why I believe blues should not be deleted. Also why I actually don't necessarily agree that like blues shouldn't even exist in the first place. Now if you like build the game from the ground up, then maybe they shouldn't have existed, or like maybe purpose shouldn't have existed. They should just like be the same tier. Yeah. Base game balance, Omega Law. +1 to Bloodborne, yeah, +1 to Bloodborne for PC. Exactly. Purple Blaze Seer set is just gonna be pre-nerfed blue Blaze Seer set. Unless there's not gonna be a purple Blaze Seer set, right? Like not every blue item apparently is gonna get a awakened version of it. And seeing this, I definitely know why, because this is literally a, like, this is not a affix system, like transforming it into like a legendary, it's just a completely handcrafted legendary. And apparently they don't want to like do that with every single blue in the game, which is understandable. On the other hand, this means this is a better like baseline item for us in the leagues to use with our crafting system, right? This does not in any way actually influence our crafting system in the leagues. So you will pretty much be able to use whatever we're currently able to use on legendaries or blues in the leagues as well, right? Where system? Yeah, there's no system here, right? It's just a legendary item. Like this legendary here, it says awakened, but I'm pretty sure it's literally just the same as any other legendary item. It just has awakened tainted swamp crypts as like the name of the item, right? It's not like an awakened prefix. Like this looks like a prefix, but it's actually not a prefix, I think. It's just like one continued text here. Which, I mean, is fine, I think. Oh well, it might... Oh, Mythical is like a text prefix. Because these are actually like not called Mythical Tainted Swamp Crypts, these are like Tainted Swamp Crypts, and then they have like a Mythical prefix tag for like a text. But yeah. Ancient Primal, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is totally fine. Like, this is actually very much fine for us as well, like League creators for Grim Dawn, because it allows us to like just keep on using the same system that we currently have. We don't even have to like change it in any way or form. I was a little afraid actually that we have to like change, like do some major changes because of the awakening system, but this is literally not gonna impact us at all. This is totally fine. Trojans with lifesteal sounds kinda pog. Oh yeah, it has weapon damage to Trojan indeed. Chaos and cold damage Trojan. Oh, they were looking at the Chaos Trojan build from the League and they were like, hey, let's give it weapon damage. You take all good blues and just mod them with GG stash into purples. I mean, you can probably like GG stash the purple item directly if you aren't gonna like use that. Alright guys, do you wanna check out Last Epoch news first or Titan Quest 2 news? Dude, there's like 5 billion Titan Quest 2 stuff that I haven't looked at yet, right? There's so much content. Last Epoch first, okay. It's probably fast, right? And then we can like go to Ellie right away. I get to Titan Quest 2 right away, right? Yeah, exactly. I think Last Epoch first is better. Okay, announcing 1.1, right? Last Epoch 1.1 is gonna get refreshed and will have a cycle event on top right, the Imperial Uprising. So this is their coping mechanism, I guess, to kind of like save the cycle slash give us something before the next cycle slash reset the economy and trying to make it a bit more interesting. They have to reset the economy because it's like absolutely fucked, right? I think since like week 1 or 2. This is a little later than week 1 or 2, but it has some content on top, right? At least. Is it gonna be enough content for me to come back to play this cycle, this 1.1 cycle? I don't know about that, we'll see. Okay, what's new here? Steam Deck verification improvements, new and updated shrines. This might be interesting maybe, but like not enough to like actually play the game again, right? It's like something that you enjoy, that you get to enjoy like whenever like an actual new cycle is there as well. UL improvements to dungeons, these might be interesting. Loot lizard encounters. Okay, so loot goblins, but lizards instead. Stash tab priority system. This is like Path of Exile's affinity, I guess. Like stash tab affinity thingy. That could be interesting. And then month-long event modifiers. Improvements to bazaar search. Okay. The cycle refresh. The Imperial Uprising brings a full cycle refresh, transitioning all 1.1 cycle Harbinger of Ruin characters to the Legacy cycle and giving everybody a fresh start. I mean, yeah, they have to do this because of the economy. And Legacy has like all the content anyway, right? Okay. Along with those changes, the following cycle-wide event modifiers will be enabled for all players, including Legacy and new cycle characters. Even for Legacy, huh? That's weird. Increased faction rep gain, increased gold gain, increased unique drop rates, increased undead spawn rates and monos. But this is only like during the event, right? And then this is gonna be decreased again at the end of the event, and then people are gonna like rage on Reddit, and it's gonna be like, why did you keep the increase? Sorry, right? I don't know. This, you know what this like reminds me of? This reminds me of like those MMO events that are like, log in now, dude, log in now. New event, new Halloween event, right? Seems like an MMO event.
Speak at last.
The cycle will continue once the month-long event has finished, but the modifiers will revert to the original state. The updates will remain. Yeah, this is back. Okay. And players' characters will stay in the cycle until either the next cycle event or patch 1.2. They don't even know yet if they're gonna do like patch 1.2 after this, or they're gonna like do another cycle event because they're afraid they can't compete against like Titan Quest 2 or Path of Exile 2 or Grim Dawn Fangs of Astakarn anyway, right? Just do like more cycle events, I guess. Why a cycle refresh? You have heard you loud and clear about wanting us economy reset, and we agree that this is beneficial for multiple reasons. Yeah. Maybe it's a little late, but yeah. Okay. Post deleted by the author. Okay, I mean, this seems like a decent like mid-cycle patch, I guess, but there's like literally zero balance and nothing else. Like, why is there not any? Wait, no, this is not the patch notes, right? Are there patch notes too, or how do they like not have a patch notes? Ah, here. Redeploy. Oh, this is like two. Wait, this is not that one, right?
Good, you're back.
You're about as excited about this one as the guy in the picture. Yo, Zoomy83, thanks for Prime. Appreciate it. Welcome back to the Bloomers. Thank you for the support. The guy in the picture, or you mean... This is your levels of excitement for this Imperial Uprising? I mean, I personally don't even play economy, right? I don't even play this stuff. Can you explain what is loot stash affinity for those that don't play PoE?
Good, you're back.
Oh yeah.
50 months. I am over the hill.
50 months GCG. Holy moly, dude. I appreciate the support. Welcome to the Bloomers once again. 50 billion months. Dude, you're like an ancient evil. I mean, an actual OG now. Any news on Torchlight Infinite? I've never played that game, I don't know. Are there? Maybe? Ancient Prime subscriber, yeah. Yep. Torchlight Infinite has like cycles or seasons or whatever as well, right? I guess they have that. Okay, so loot stash affinity, right? I was gonna explain that. So in Path of Exile, you can basically, is it like right click or something like that, a tab, and then you can select which types of items should go into that tab like automatically. For example, imagine Grim Dawn, you could set a tab to automatically accept all components, right? Then whenever you click like on a component in your like own bag, it would automatically go into that tab even if it's not open, right? So in Grim Dawn you have to like always click on the tab that you actually want your stuff to go in, but in Path of Exile you can like basically you shift right click or whatever it is, your items, and it will like go into the right tab automatically with stash tab affinity. And that's like the same thing here. It's just like some nice quality of life. I really like it. But yeah, it's like nothing insanely groundbreaking. It's nice to have for stash though. It's pretty nice to have, especially when like in Path of Exile you have like Pepega credited 50 billion stash tabs, right? Then you might want to have it, right? Are you young enough to be GZG's son? I probably are, yeah. You could be. Technically. Anyway, this is pretty much all the news about LE, the Imperial Uprising. Am I gonna play this? Honestly, 99% sure I'm not gonna play this one. I will probably play patch 1.2, or like whenever they're gonna like do some actual like balance changes and like changes to skills maybe. Because to me personally, that's more interesting than an RPG. I know many people like also are interested in like economy and stuff like that, and to like sell stuff and to buy stuff, etc. Blah blah blah, right? Or like ladders. I would care about ladders if I actually try harder than last Epoch. I would probably never care about economy anyway, because I would always play SSF. So yeah, this is like a nothing burger to me personally, but maybe you actually are looking forward to the cycle refresh. Just delete Merchant's Guilds since it's broken. Maybe, I don't know. A new Rive skill would be sick to hype up Rectors. Dude, if they like reworked multi-strike and made it like actually feel good, I would play that maybe. They didn't say anything about if they fixed gold duping. I mean, just trust me bro, right? I fixed it. That's what they say. D4 news? Wait, are there any D4 news even? When is flippin' D4? Oh yeah, wait. D4 2.0? Vessel of Hatred at Gamescom? Dude, the Rax made a video about D4. Huge D4 news. All the news in one video, and the video is how long? 54 seconds. Everything you need to know about D4 Vessel of Hatred in 54 seconds, or what? What is this?
Well, we were watching that for Diablo 4 and PoE 2 updates, and I took extensive notes on everything that we learned. There's Kurast Undercity multi-layer dungeon with custom rewards, aka sounds like green infernal hordes. There are mercenaries that you're going to be able to hire, which we already knew about. There's going to be co-op raids, which we already knew about. And Path of Exile 2's early access starts November 15th. That's what we learned in 2 hours of Gamescom.
Yep. I mean, that's all you need to know, right? I guess. It's literally all you need to know. You could have made the video even shorter, dude. Wow. Okay, I mean, that's D4 news for you, I guess. Okay, there's multiple Titan Quest 2 videos out, right? Which one should we watch? There's like 5 billion of them. Watch the one with the gameplay. We could also watch the one with the devs, but it's in German, and I could like try to translate. Or we just like watch the short one from Maurice first. Yeah, Maurice Weber is like a German gaming journalist. I know, like when I say gaming journalist, it sounds like he's bad at gaming, but He's actually not that bad at games. Like, compared to other gaming journalists, I would trust him the most out of all the journalists I know. I mean, I know him for like almost 10 years already. And he's been at GameStar, which is like the biggest German game magazine, I guess. Game critique magazine. That's ever... I mean, or like it's the biggest now at least. I don't know if it was always the biggest. Okay, should we just watch this one? Wait, does it have subtitles even? German subtitles, no. That's not very helpful, is it? Okay, it has only German subtitles. What about the other one? Does this one have subtitles? This one has... What? It also has only German subtitles, what the fuck? Okay, I mean, I can, I guess, like, translate everything if you want. More or less. 59 minutes. Oh, this one is 11 minutes. Okay, I've not seen this video at all yet. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna watch this 11-minute video first from GameStar, which is like Maurice Weber. And this is in German. I'm gonna like pause and translate as much as possible because there is no English subtitles, at least I can't find any. I mean, for those of you in chat that know German, this is gonna be easy for you, but otherwise it probably won't be. So I'll try to do my best here.
Titan Quest 2 ist zurück und entführt uns erneut in die Welt der griechischen Mythologie. Dieses Mal mit frischem Anstrich und jede Menge Action.
Also, if he's just like doing like cosmetic blah blah, I'm not gonna translate that, right? So far it's just blah blah, right?
2 Jahrzehnte nach dem Release des ersten Teils, der damals eine willkommene Abwechslung für Diablo-Fans war, steht der Nachfolger endlich in den Startlöchern. Im Rahmen der Gamescom konnte ich Titan Quest 2 auch schon
like he was able to play it at Gamescom, right? He was also in an interview with developers there as well.
Eindruck reichte die Anspielsession allemal. Außerdem haben die Entwickler ja unter anderem auch im GameStar Livestream noch mehr Details zu ihrem Spiel verraten. Umgesetzt wird Titan Quest 2 übrigens von Grimlore Games, den Machern von Spellforce 3. Und
oh yeah, I mean, for those of you that don't know, I mean, Grimlore is making this. That's actually a company based in Munich, so maybe I should like go pay them a visit. Maybe, hopefully, I should do that at some point. And yeah, they also made the Spellforce series, which is pretty good.
Die bleiben dem bewährten Hack-and-Slay-Gameplay treu und kombinieren es mit einem antiken Setting, das an die griechische Mythologie angelehnt ist. Der Early Access für die PC-Version soll auch schon in diesem Winter starten.
So, yeah.
Ein genaueres Veröffentlichungsdatum oder der Preis stehen zwar noch nicht fest.
We don't know price or exact date, but like in this winter we're gonna have the Titan Quest 2 Early Access version, right?
Ja, Titan Quest 2 könnte genau das sein, worauf Oldschool Hack-and-Slay-Fans seit Jahren gewartet haben.
Titan Quest 2 could be the very game that like old school hack and slay fans have been waiting for years.
Denn anders als große Namen wie Path of Exile 2 und Diablo 4 fokussieren sich die Macher von Titan Quest 2 zunächst auf das Kampagnenerlebnis.
Because contrary to in contradiction to Diablo 4 and Path of Exile 2, they're not gonna focus on any online stuff that much, but rather on the campaign first and everything else later, if at all. Right?
Ganz ohne Mikrotransaktionen, Seasons und diesen ganzen Kram.
So there's not gonna be any MTX, there's not gonna be any seasons, at least not at any time in like the early development part of this game. It's probably gonna be like very old school, just like Titan Quest and like Grim Dawn as well. So like just base game then like expansions. I think they were also like talking about like how expansions are gonna give like bring new classes or like new areas. And yeah, it's buy to play, single player only at first. I think early access is gonna be single player only, and then multiplayer is gonna be there for release. But how exactly multiplayer is gonna work, we will see, I guess.
Ein Koop-Modus soll es trotzdem geben, damit wir das Abenteuer mit unseren Freunden erleben können.
Yeah, there will be a co-op mode, so like coach co-op. Maybe not on I think they said it's not going to be necessarily ready for early access, like not on launch of early access at least, but like at some point it will be available, and it's definitely planned and it is in development. Which makes you think that they will at least eventually also have controller support, and then also eventually this game will be like transported to other consoles as well if it's somewhat successful. But if I also remember correctly from like another dev talk, that they will focus on like making PC only first and then console later. So yeah, they are the primary like market is PC and not consoles, so you don't have to like worry about them, I don't know, focusing on like, for example, only 4 skills. As you can see, you can have already 8 skills here and then like 2 more here. One of these is gonna have to be like the dodge, I guess. This is like the dodge, right, the space. So you can, well, excluding the dodge, have at least 9 buttons, it looks like, that you can customize. And you have like potions here and here as well, 2 and 1, right? Pretty nice.
Trotzdem gehen das in München ansässige Entwicklerteam und der Publisher THQ Nordic mit Titan Quest 2 ein Risiko ein. Alter.
But still, as you also just said, like the Munich-based company they're taking a risk. What is the risk?
Hasen freuen sich wahrscheinlich über den Fokus auf klassische Stärken. Doch die aktuellen Genre-Standards sind ja auch nicht ohne Grund erfolgreich. Endgame.
Oh, the risk is like not being a multiplayer online game, right? And the risk is being a single-player focused game. That's like what he's saying. Is the risk here that they might not be as successful as like D4 and well, Path of Exile 2. But I think they probably, because they're a smaller studio, would just get wrecked by them anyway, as we are currently probably seeing with Last Epoch, or like as we will be seeing towards the end of this year with Last Epoch, which will probably just get outclassed by D4 and PoE2 in the long run. Whereas this rather, well, tries to be the Titan Quest 2, just like Titan Quest 1 and Grim Dawn. It has like a different player base, I feel like.
Endgame lautet für viele Hack-and-Slay-Fans inzwischen die einzige Devise.
Yeah, he's talking about like endgame, right? Like that's like what people care about the most in hack and slays. I feel like PoE players care about endgame, but there is also like a very big ARPG player base that cares about actually campaign and like cares about replayability already as early as possible within the campaign with like different classes and so on and so on. Also, the attribute system, as you can see here, looks pretty neat. There's more than 1 or 2 or 3. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 even, right? And if I remember correctly, like some of them, like I think every like attribute like scales different damage types, or like gives you like different stuff. And you can like combine 2 or 3 to like focus more in like one direction, or like, I don't know. It seems very interesting, that's for sure, right? Here, though, it seems like the character is only able to like choose these 3 and not fitness, cunning, and whatever this one down here is, resolve. But he's putting points in might, right? And putting points in might also increases the points of fitness and resolve, apparently, right?
Für viele Hack-and-Slay-Fans inzwischen die einzige Devise. Ob sich Titan Quest 2 trotz immer noch unverbraucht.
I'm not a fan of the ladders, but I guess having point-and-click ladders like this is better than Grim Dawn stairs, right? It's better than Grim Dawn stairs, I guess.
Setting, großer Charakterbildvielfalt und handgebauter Welt dagegen behaupten kann, muss sich zeigen. Wir drücken aber die Daumen, denn mehr Abwechslung kann ja nicht schaden. Kommen wir zurück zur Demo.
Alright, that was just like blah blah, right? Like they're hoping they're still doing great.
Und dem, was wir bisher testen konnten.
So now it's gonna start talking about the demo and like what they were really like able to test at Gamescom.
Wir starteten mit einem vorgefertigten Level 5 Charakter und wurden in eine weitläufige Region geworfen.
So they were starting with a level 5 character and were thrown into this like first level basically on a strange shore. You're like starting on the shore, and if you've seen like some of the gameplay videos already, there's like they're like fighting crabs and like those Scythians, whatever they call again, I forgot. Like those like fish-like monsters.
Die eine Handvoll Quests, malerische Küsten, stimmungsvoll ausgeleuchtete Höhlen und beeindruckende antike Bauten bot.
Yeah, so he's like talking about like how the environment looks like really fucking good, as you can also see here.
Die Welt von Titan Quest 2 ist liebevoll von Hand gebaut, enthält hier und da kleine optionale Beuteverstecke und ist sehr detailreich.
It's like very high like density of detail basically, has like tons of quests here and there and like tons of like small little like hidden loot stuff that you can also find. So very much in the style of like Grim Dawn or Titan Quest 1 as well, and like a handcrafted fixed layout. Right? There's no random maps, at least so far. There are no random maps. All of the maps are handcrafted, just like in Titan Quest 1 and then Grim Dawn.
Im Interview mit Maurice haben die Entwickler außerdem den Tag-Nacht-Wechsel der Spielwelt gezeigt, der zwar aktuell...
And also they will have a day and night cycle, which this guy's also gonna like simulate here and show you. YouTube is saying, I legit did Titan Quest LAN parties back then, so if it's present here I will do more of them. I heavily dislike the mentality of just get through the game ASAP so you can get to endgame. Why have a campaign in the first place? Everybody just skips it and even the devs make them fast. I totally agree, and I think like campaign skips are something that should be introduced like way later into the gameplay cycle. The game has to be good first, right? And the game starts at level 1 and the game starts in like act 1, right? Or like wherever you're starting to be. Even Path of Exile still forces you to like do all 10 acts, right? Even Path of Exile actually has some decent campaign focus, at least more so than, for example, Last Epoch, which lets you skip the campaign right away, and I don't fucking know why they did that in the first place. I was never a fan of that as well. I do think that campaign skips should be possible at some point, either via like gear that makes just like level way faster and basically like walk through areas way faster, or you're able to like skip difficulties like in Grim Dawn with like the merits, for example. Or you could also do a, I think, campaign skip system like in Last Epoch, where you go through dungeons to like skip some of the acts. But doing that on the first character, I think is a... I don't fucking know, like it's a fucking mistake in my opinion. I think it should only be like possible once you've beaten the campaign like once per season at least. And then... Because like... And then, of course, there's like the other way to also do it, which is like Diablo 3's adventure mode style. And as much as I thought adventure mode was a little weird in the past, I actually don't think it's that bad of an idea, actually. At least for like post first character. Right, like an adventure mode style leveling is not even like that. I think even that is better than like Last Epoch's way of doing it. At least campaign isn't even complete yet. Yeah, I also don't know why they didn't like just complete the campaign first. I mean, sure, endgame is like interesting and all. But they said in the past they are gonna have like a complete campaign for release, and well, the game is released already now. And then have people pay for adventure mode and first character, easy money. I mean, I guess you could do that, even yeah, if you really want to go that way, but I don't know. I really think this is like... Anyway, Titan Quest 2 focused on campaign first, and that's great in my opinion, and because the game is all about it, like way more about the atmosphere and say, for example, Last Epoch.
Nur optisch ist, aber später auch spielerische Einflüsse haben könnte. Ja.
So here they're saying that the Day Night cycle currently only is visual, but it might have gameplay elements as well later on. Like there might be like some bosses, for example, only spawning at night and stuff like that. Like in Dark Souls, I mean in Elden Ring, right? So it's not something they're actively using right now in the game, but it might be something that they maybe use in the future.
Der ein oder andere Kniff ist also durchaus noch geplant. Und dabei fühlt es sich jetzt schon fast an wie ein Urlaub auf einer griechischen Insel, wären da nicht die lästigen Kreaturen, die uns ständig auf den Fersen waren. Doch genau diese Kreaturen sind genretypisch die Quelle für Beute und Erfahrungspunkte.
Alright, this is just like blah blah is basically like explaining how an RPG works right now in like a more cosmetic way, I guess.
Die unseren Charakter mächtiger machen. Also metzelten wir uns durch Horden von Gegnern.
Just saying how he's like killing monsters to get items.
Der grafische Sprung im Vergleich zum Vorgänger ist beeindruckend. Die Effekte der Attacken und Zauber sehen nicht nur eindrucksvoll aus, sondern fühlen sich auch kraftvoll
So you're saying the effects and the skills don't only look gorgeous, but also they feel good? At least in his opinion.
an. Allerdings hätten die Gegner für meinen Geschmack noch stärker auf unsere Angriffe reagieren können.
But he would have liked if the enemies like reacted more to your attacks. But I guess that's more like something that you would expect from our Souls-like and less from an ARPG. At least less from like classic RPGs. So here it seems like the monsters are kind of similar to how they are in Grim Dawn or Titan Quest or like other classic ARPGs, kind of mindless and like just do like they have like one mode that they do, and yeah, it's not like a Dark Souls style where they attack you when you're trying to drink your potion and stuff like that, right? They don't like read your inputs really. And yeah, this is in Unreal Engine 5, not Unity or something like that.
Hier fehlt es noch ein wenig an Wucht, wie man sie in 2024 eigentlich im Genre erwarten würde. Dennoch, dieses kleine Manko trübt das Spielvergnügen kaum. Die Kämpfe sind spannend.
Yeah, he's saying like how he thinks that games like these in the current year should have like some kind of like input reading and like behave, like have enemies behave differently depending like what you're doing. I guess, but also I don't really like know any RPG that really does that. I mean, sure, Souls-like do that, but this kind of game doesn't really. Not only that, but Titan Quest 1 had a lot of mythology. You went through mythology on historical places. Yeah. I mean, same here, right? I mean, it's based on actual like mythological places, and that's pretty neat. UE5 games so far more or less have major performance issues. Yeah, I mean, Palworld I think was like Unreal 5 as well, right? Palworld can have some performance issues as well. But I guess it like depends on how the developers use the engine correctly. But I mean, I think still better than Unity at least.
Fordern uns heraus und fühlen sich dynamisch an. Von Langeweile also keine Spur. Ein weiteres Highlight ist die Detailverliebtheit.
He's saying how like the bosses are feeling dynamic and they're not like boring in any way, like there's never gonna be any boring moment.
Im Spiel. Schaut euch nur mal die Charakterdarstellung im Inventar an. Flaschen am Gürtel, aufwendig gestaltet.
He's like talking about like detailing and like how you can even like see the flasks on the character, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is like that insane, but it's cute.
Rüstungsteile und mächtige Waffen. Alles ist bis ins kleinste Detail.
Also, you can see here that I guess these are shoulders, right? Gloves, chest, boots. There's no belt, there's no pants, but I mean, no pants kind of makes sense in Titan Quest actually. There's like amulet, I guess, rings, helmet. And then weapon, like secondary weapon slot is I guess like a 200 staff, so he's like nothing in here. And then you can see flasks down here, and flasks in Titan Quest 2 are actually items, right? So similar how, I think Diablo 3 did it first. You can basically like find other potions, and they will have like different effects. So maybe you can like, I mean, you can probably also craft in potions. Similar how you can craft in like on potions in PoE or like in Grim Dawn with Fangs of Astekarn as well. And then like play a potion that's like, you know, fitting for your character, or like play 2 health potions maybe instead of like 1 health and 1 mana potion. We'll see. We had access to pants with the Ragnarok expansion. That's true, yeah. There's no Ragnarok here yet going on. I would assume base game Titan Quest 2 is gonna focus way more on like southeastern Europe, aka like well, Hellenic world. I wonder whether they will change the rarity system, whether it will be the old colors, or whether they will change it to fit other RPGs like PoE. I mean, you can see it here, right? They have like white, blue, and yellow. White, blue, and yellow, I think is like in Diablo, right? This looks very much like a Diablo.
Ausgearbeitet.
Actually, many things about this game like reminded me a lot of like Diablo 3. Like this seems, I mean, this is, yeah, yellow, rare item, right? This is like a Diablo 3, and it's like Diablo 3 colors.
Kleinste Detail ausgearbeitet.
Or like, I think Diablo 2 has the same colors as well. White, blue, yellow. Yeah, that's, and I think blues only have 2 affixes, and yellows can have like 4 up to 4 affixes. And then there is monster and frequents, which I think are green. Yeah. It's blue, yellow, and green for monster and frequents.
Es ist bis ins kleinste Detail ausgearbeitet. In der Demo-Version hat sich unser Aussehen ständig verändert, je nachdem, welche Ausrüstung wir gerade trugen.
So he's talking about like how he's liking how like your character changes visually quite a bit, like depending on like what items you're finding, what items you're equipping, and he thinks they did like a good job with that so far.
Das sogar bis runter auf den ausgewählten Heiltrank, von denen gibt es nämlich verschiedene Varianten. Das Beutesystem...
Yeah, and here he just said that like there's also different potions, right? Which have like different stuff, different affixes. And here you can see a monster frequent, right? The venomous benthic wand of insight, which as you can see has insight suffix, so it has +10 to knowledge, and the venomous, which gives you poison damage as affixes. And then the benthic wand is a like monster frequent with an implicit 11% chance to freeze for 1 second, 11% ailment chance. Apparently these are like the implicit stuff.
hinterließ ebenfalls einen positiven Eindruck und wirkte angenehm zufällig. Im Gegensatz zu Titan Quest 1 orientiert man sich im Nachfolger eher am Genre Standard.
And I think they said monster frequents can have up to 3 affixes, rares up to 4 and blues up to 2.
Farbschema der Seltenheit ist gelernt und die Anzahl der möglichen Affixe steigt, je seltener ein Gegenstand ist.
So he's saying like the color of items is pretty intuitive basically, and the amount of affixes are increasing the rarer the item is. I mean this is true for blues and yellows, but I don't think it's true for MIs actually, because I think MIs can have 1 less than yellows.
In meinen 2 Spieldurchläufen habe ich komplett unterschiedliche Ausrüstung erhalten, was für Abwechslung sorgt. Über eine bestimmte Axt habe ich...
He played through the demo apparently 2 times with like different characters, and he got like completely different like items the 2 times he played. So the loot, like the generic, like the total like loot pool seems to be like quite big enough, and you know, give us like guarantee some decent variety. And then he also got like a legendary axe here.
Mich besonders gefreut und sofort im Skillsystem nachgeschaut, wie ich Wut generieren kann,
The Raging Bull. This is a rage-based weapon apparently. So he's like he found his weapon and he was instantly, he instantly got the urge to like check into like in his skill tree like how he can make like rage work and so on. So yeah, some of these items seem to be at the very least build defining. Maybe like we remove the cam here for a bit. So this one has like increased weapon damage per rage stack, increased movement speed, health regen, strike armor. There's, I think, at least 2 different types of like physical, or like you could say like strike damage is like physical damage, pierce damage is like pierce damage, and there's also like strike armor and pierce armor, which is like basically physical resistance and pierce resistance, I think. And then there's like resistances for other stuff as well. Or maybe I put myself over here, this is better. Is Titan Quest 2 the same engine or new? Titan Quest 2 is in Unreal 5. I wonder why so many blues. Blues were epics. Yeah. This is, these are Diablo 3 cutters, right? Don't like changing the rarity system. I think for people that are coming from Diablo or like Path of Exile, this is going to be easier to understand. It's just like different from like Titan Quest and Grim Dawn coloring, which I don't personally mind all too much, as long as like uniques are still purple and demise are still green. Like blue and yellow is it's far more common of a scheme, like a color scheme. And if you quote Zentai,
We speak at last.
then blue items, like epic items in Grim Dawn, shouldn't even exist and should only be like uniques, right? Like blues and purples being like the same-ish. And also greens being the color for MIs and for rare items in Grim Dawn and Titan Quest, I think is also like kind of bad. So this is way more distinct. I actually like this more than in Grim Dawn as well, yeah. Like MIs in Grim Dawn are so fucking easy to miss. If you're like new to the game, you have no idea like why this is the same green as the other one and why it's like 10 times more powerful. Like the game doesn't really do like the best like showing you why it's better or not.
möglichst viel Schaden anzurichten. Genau dieses Zusammenspiel aus Ausrüstung und Fähigkeiten ist der Schlüssel zur individuellen Charakterentwicklung und sorgt für jede Menge Motivation weiterzuspielen. Titan Quest 2 bringt zudem das Meisterschaftssystem des Vorgängers zurück und bietet so vielfältige Optionen, den Charakter auf den eigenen Spielstil anzupassen.
Titan Quest 2 is bringing back the same mastery system as the predecessor. That's what he's saying, and because of that you have like very high customizability, right? You can choose 2 different masteries together and customize them to your liking.
Es gibt also keine vordefinierten Klassen.
So there's no pre-made classes, right? You just make a character and then you have these like masteries here and you can like choose 2 of them. This character is a Warfare and Storm, well, like pre-made character by the devs, I guess.
Dessen kombinieren wir 2 Meisterschaften, also 2 Skill-Trees miteinander. Jede Meisterschaft
Maybe I go here again.
gibt uns aktive und passive Fertigkeiten und
So every mastery has actives and passives.
beeinflusst unsere Spielweise. Die Early Access Version soll übrigens schon viele bekannte Meisterschaften aus dem ersten Titan Quest zurückbringen. Unser Demo-Held hatte sich bereits für die Meisterschaften Kriegsführung und Sturm entschieden. Dank der Kriegsführung beherrschen wir einen kraftvollen Sprungangriff, den wir mit Skillpunkten weiter verstärken konnten. So beherrschen wir
And apparently you also get like active and passive points separate from each other, right? So it's not like in Grim Dawn or Titan Quest where you get like mastery points that you can put into your skills and your mastery bar, but you get active points which you can put in your active skills and passive points which you can put in your passives. Now, in which skill tree of the two you want to put those, that's kind of like up to you. But you can actually not progress the mastery bar with neither the active nor the passive points. You will be able to progress your mastery bar, unlocking new actives and passives in a different way. And I believe these are like called Titan's Blood or something like that. And you only get Titan's Blood by basically like completing quests or like, I think, completing acts, more or less. So you're gonna be kind of like act locked when it comes to like progressing your skill bar here, I think, or at least like quest locked. Whether or not that's a good thing, I mean, you can discuss that if you want, right? I think it's an interesting way to do it.
einen kraftvollen Sprungangriff, den wir mit Skillpunkten weiter verstärken konnten. So schalteten wir zusätzliche Modifikationen frei. Mehr Wutgeneration bei einem Treffer oder kürzere Abklingzeit. Die Wahl liegt ganz bei uns. Zum Release soll es noch viele weitere Anpassungsmöglichkeiten für diese Fähigkeiten geben.
And I mean, here it seems like you already have, okay, so like with skill points, right, you can like put more points into like that's the skill, for example. So now it has like 4 skill points, but like 4 skill points into a skill doesn't apparently like make the skill inherently better, but it rather unlocks these like shields here, right, which then allow you to put modifiers into them, right, to slot modifiers into them. And you can have like, I guess, a max of 5 modifiers, and in the demo, like apparently also like each skill had like 5 available modifiers, so you could like slot, I guess, up to all 5. But in the future, you're gonna have like more here, and then like actually hopefully choose some and not just like blindlessly get all of them, because that would be kind of stupid, right? Or like kind of uninteresting in the long run. And there's like stuff like, I don't know, like more damage, less CDR, more CDR, and so on and so on. Kind of looks like more traditional linear story RPGs. You unlock more the more you progress, kind of. I mean, Grim Dawn also did that, I guess, with shrines at least, right? Like depending on like how much you discovered from the world, like you got more shrines, and thus you could like progress your devotion system more or less. And this does, I guess, a similar thing with like the bar here, the mastery bar here. It's a bit more old school, just like I wanted from a Titan Quest sequel. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think this is not a bad system.
Good, you're back.
Wird is TQ2 already out?
Teferi, thanks for the resub. Welcome back, 15 months. Appreciate the support. It's not out yet, no. The early access is gonna be out like later this year. But yeah, not yet.
Das gleiche System gilt auch für die passiven Fähigkeiten.
And the passives also have modifiers to them, apparently. So like a passive does like something, I guess, by default, and then you can put more skill points to the passive to unlock modifiers for the passives.
Die Standardangriffe und den Ausweichschritt.
And, oh my god, why the fuck am I looking at this now? Okay. Why did it like open it in this browser, not the other one? Oh well. We're looking at cat nopes now, I guess. Anyway, what was I gonna say? I forgot now. Anyway, I mean, yeah, you got like active points here for these, right? And passive points for this stuff, right? So that's kind of cool. And then also, hopefully, items will also have some modifiers for skills, maybe? I mean, so far it doesn't seem like there were any other items. But there were still like interesting effects like the rage, for example, right? It's not like a normal stat necessarily, it's more defining.
Zum Beispiel in einen Blitzangriff.
Oh, this is also interesting. You can even put like skill points into your literal default attack, right? So you can make a literal default attack build, right? So instead of having default attack replacers, you can just modify your default attack instead, right? Which, well, this kind of invalidates all default attack replacers, right? Like, why even have default attack replacers in the first place if you can just modify your actual default attack? I think this is actually ingenious because, yeah, I mean, this makes you never have to use, or like, never make like default attacks, like default attack replacers, like take up a skill slot in a mastery or something like that, right? Default attack replacers are fun. I mean, think of like every modifier here as being basically like a default attack replacer, right? Isn't it? Most sophisticated left click build. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, what do we have here, for example? 50% damage is converted to lightning damage, 50% chance to trigger a lightning strike on the first enemy hit. Okay. And then your actual default attack will cost energy. Interesting.
Verwandeln oder mit einer eisigen Explosion kombinieren. Die Sturmmeisterschaft bringt dazu mächtige Eis.
Frost Explosion, 50% damage converted to cold, 25% plus 1% per chill stack on target chance to freeze the first enemy hit for 0.8 seconds. Hitting frozen enemies deal 2% cold damage and a 2.0 radius around them. Okay, I mean, for a default attack, that seems pretty fancy, right? That's pretty nice. And apparently each mastery has like different modifiers for the default attack, right? So every single mastery basically has like a default attack replacer.
Zauber.
Or at least like gives you more modifiers for your default attack.
Geeignet.
There's Onslaught with the Rage on hit.
Mein bevorzugtes Vorgehen,
Nice.
mit einem Sprungangriff in die Gegnerhorden stürzen, sie einfrieren und dann mit brutaler Kraft niederstrecken.
Okay, now he's just like talking cosmetically about like how he's playing the character, like jumping, freezing, smacking,
Leider
and having them explode in, like with ice, right?
hatten wir noch keine Gelegenheit, die anderen Meisterschaften oder die späteren Fähigkeiten unserer gewählten Meisterschaften zu testen.
Okay, but unfortunately they were not able to test other masteries, so only Warfare and Storm, and they were not able to test any of the deeper down the skill tree skills. So he was only able to test Warfare, Storm, and only the tier 1 skills. I mean, it still looks good, but it's not like that many skills, right? Bear Scare, thanks for the 13 months, appreciate the support, welcome back.
Doch das Meisterschaftssystem ist klar das Herzstück der Charakterentwicklung. Und die Kombination der verschiedenen Meisterschaften prägt unseren ganz persönlichen Spielstil. Mit jedem Level-Up bekommen wir außerdem einen Attributspunkt, den wir verteilen können.
So with every level up you also get like skill points, I think, passive points and attribute points. So skill points you can put into active skills, passive points you can put into passive skills, both in your masteries. And then attribute points you can put into like your attributes, which do like different things, right?
Agility, Knowledge und Might sind dabei ziemlich klassisch mit Geschicklichkeit, Intelligenz und Stärke gleich.
Yeah, so it's like saying Might is basically like strength, right? Agility is like cunning, knowledge is like what's it called? Spirit and Grim Dawn. I think these are like coded a bit differently in Titan Quest 1, I don't actually remember. And Vigor is basically like HP, right?
Zu setzen. Die Attribute in Titan Quest 2 ermöglichen auch das Tragen von unterschiedlicher Ausrüstung, also beispielsweise leichte oder schwere Rüstung.
Attributes are also required to wear armor or also weapons. I think the axe, the legendary one that he had earlier, also like required, I think 70 might or something like that.
Vigor in der Mitte ist etwas exotischer und defensiver Natur, denn es erhöht unsere maximalen Lebenspunkte. Außerdem verändern sich, je nachdem welches Hauptattribut wir hochstufen, die sekundären Attribute. Die sorgen für erhöhte Werte bei bestimmten Schadenstypen, je nachdem welches Hauptattribut wir hochstufen.
Okay, so it's really only like 4 that you can choose from. There are 7 attributes in the game, but it's only like 4 you can choose from. And here, for example, if you put points into Might, you get also points into Resolve and Fitness. Alright, so this one, for example, unlocks damage enhancing modifiers and abilities. supports heavy armor, ornate armor, and heavy weapons. So it seems like these main attributes aren't really like doing all that much on their own. They're more enablers, right? They're enablers for gear, and they are scaling like these secondary attributes like fitness, resolve, cunning. And also like unlock abilities. And then fitness, cunning, and resolve actually scale your damage. Agility unlocks speed enhancing modifiers and on abilities, supports light armor, medium armor, and fast weapons, counts towards fitness and cunning. And I guess like vigor like gives you a bit of all of these. Counts towards all secondary attributes, increased health points. So yeah, vigor does nothing. I mean, vigor like increases all of your damage like a little bit, but like less than the others, but also gives you like HP, right?
Unsere maximalen Lebenspunkte. Außerdem verändern sich, je nachdem welches Hauptattribut wir hochstufen, die
Does he hover over the
sekundären
others?
Attribute. Die sorgen für erhöhte Werte bei bestimmten Schadenstypen, je nachdem welches Hauptattribut wir hochstufen. Leveln wir beispielsweise Might oder Knowledge hoch,
GG. Fitness based for strike damage and pierce damage. Okay, so like fitness is your, I guess your like standard physical build, right? Like strike damage is basically physical damage, you could say, right? And pierce is like pierce damage. It's kind of like your cunning and grim dawn. In that way, like it scales your like physical damage, and you get more fitness if you put more points into might and agility, which makes sense.
hoch erhöht sich Resolve. Resolve bringt uns mehr Kälte und Feuer. Might oder
Okay, and resolve is giving you more. He's saying resolve gives you more fire and cold damage.
Knowledge hoch, welche Attribute. Defense oder
Did you hover over
Intelligenz
others?
und Knowledge ab bekommen wir außerdem einen Attributspunkt, den wir verteilen können. Agility, Knowledge und Might sind dabei ziemlich klassisch mit Geschicklichkeit, Intelligenz.
So there is physical damage, like strike damage, pierce damage, fire damage, cold damage, lightning damage, poison damage, and divine damage, apparently. At least there's resistances for all of these, right? You have like fire, cold, lightning, poison res, divine res, and then strike and pierce, which are like armor-based damage types. I kind of like this. It's not too many, but like it's not too many damage types, but it's still more than like 2. So I think it's pretty nice. This seems like a very good middle ground, honestly. Like this seems like a good, like decent amount of middle ground where the developers can still give like every single type a unique feeling to them. And I mean, I think strike and pierce as well as these 4 always make sense. If you just look at like combat from like ancient Greek times, right? And like all of these just make sense, kinda. And divine is, I guess, like the odd one out in a way. But also Titan Quest is very much about like the gods and mythology as well, so I guess there's some like basically holy damage, divine damage.
Und Stärke gleichzusetzen. Die Attribute in Titan Quest 2 ermöglichen auch das Tragen von unterschiedlicher Ausrüstung.
Oh shit, yeah, he have knowledge as well.
In Titan Quest 2 ermöglichen auch das Tragen von unterschiedlichen.
Unlocks area and utility modifiers and abilities. Okay, so knowledge is more like AoE and support. But also like mage stuff. Supports mage's robes, plated robes, and magical weapons. Counts towards cunning and resolve. Okay, what the fuck is cunning then? Like this is physical damage, right? This is like magic damage. I guess cunning is like poison and divine damage, maybe?
Ausrüstung, also beispielsweise leichte oder schwere Rüstung. Vigor in der Mitte ist etwas exotischer und defensiver Natur, denn es erhöht unsere maximalen Lebenspunkte. Außerdem verändern sich, je nachdem welches Hauptattribut wir hochstufen, die sekundären Attribute. Die sorgen für erhöhte Werte bei bestimmten Schadenstypen.
I think it doesn't cover over cunning, does he?
Wir hochstufen. Leveln wir beispielsweise Might oder Knowledge hoch, erhöht sich Resolve. Resolve bringt uns mehr Kälte- und Feuerschaden. Mit einer Vielzahl von Modifikationen für jede Fähigkeit und einer potenziell großen Auswahl an Meisterschaften könnte dieses System sehr tiefgründig und komplex werden. Ob es wirklich so ist,
He's saying like the system could be potentially very deep and complicated. If it's gonna be like that or not remains to be seen though.
bleibt abzuwarten, aber bis jetzt hat sich das System sehr intuitiv angefühlt und es macht definitiv Lust auf mehr. Ein paar Kleinigkeiten, die mir im Spiel noch gefehlt haben, sind vor allem die Details, die das Spielerlebnis runder machen könnten.
So he's saying that there are some things that he's still missing in the game basically.
Zum Beispiel muss ich Gold in Titan Quest 2 immer noch manuell aufheben.
Oh yeah, like there's no auto pickup for gold. You have to like actually fucking click the gold right to pick it up.
Das fühlt sich einfach nicht mehr zeitgemäß an und könnte ruhig automatisch passieren. Eine optionale Overlay-Karte wäre auch hilfreich.
Also there's no overlay map. There's only the map he just showed.
Dann müsste ich nicht ständig ins Menü wechseln, nur weil ich mich mal orientieren will. Der Aufheberadius könnte außerdem etwas großzügiger
The pickup radius could be
ausfallen.
bigger.
Aktuell zappelt der Charakter beim Looten ein wenig unbeholfen herum, was den Spielfluss stört. Ein weiterer Punkt, der mir aufgefallen ist, betrifft die KI. Derzeit wirkt sie in manchen Situationen etwas zu passiv.
The AI is Pepega and like too passive. He's saying right like this guy is not attacking the player.
Betrifft die KI. Derzeit wirkt sie in manchen Situationen etwas zu passiv, insbesondere im Fernkampf. Die Gegner gehen beispielsweise kaum auf mich zu, stattdessen bleiben sie sehr statisch stehen und ich kann sie aus der Ferne ganz leicht ausschalten.
I mean, yeah, okay, like the aggro range is kinda bad,
Hier
still I
sollten die
guess.
Entwickler ihren Monstern noch ein bisschen Dampf machen, dann werden die Kämpfe lebendiger und anspruchsvoller. Fairerweise muss ich erwähnen, dass es wahrscheinlich auch gar nicht vorgesehen war, diese Demo mit einem Bogen zu spielen. Dafür gab es nämlich noch gar keine Skills.
Okay, he also said that in all fairness, the demo was probably not made to be played with a bow. There were bows dropping and he could play with a bow, but there was literally not a single bow skill he could use. But then again, he was only playing Warfare and Storm and like only had like access to the level 1 skills, so yeah.
Titan Quest 1 hat mir damals unzählige Nächte auf LAN-Partys versüßt und genau dieses Gefühl kam während der Anspielsession von Titan Quest 2 sofort wieder auf.
So he also played Titan Quest 1 on LAN parties apparently. And he got like the same feeling as back then. Like he really enjoyed his time basically. Resolve is fire and cold damage and cunning is lightning and poison. Oh. Okay, so resolve is not like all the magics, but it's only fire and cold and not lightning, whereas cunning is for lightning damage. Interesting.
War, als würde ich eine Reise in die Vergangenheit machen, nur um dort eine moderne, frische Interpretation des Klassikers zu erleben. Man spürt die starken Wurzeln des Spiels, die wahrscheinlich die Herzen vieler Fans höher schlagen lassen, während die neue Optik und die verbesserte Technik klar zeigen, dass wir in der Gegenwart angekommen sind. Die Mischung aus Nostalgie und modernem Action-RPG hat mich neugierig gemacht und ich kann es kaum erwarten, im Winter in den Early Access einzutauchen. Titan Quest 2 wird ein Hack-and-Slay-Abend.
So yeah, he's basically saying it looks like a very, like so far it looks like a perfect mix of like nostalgia and like modern engine stuff without like auto loot though, I guess, which kind of sucks. And he's looking to play the game some more in this winter.
Mit einem erfrischend anderem Setting. Und eine Aussage der Entwickler hat mich besonders neugierig gemacht. Sie wollen nämlich darauf achten, dass ihr Spiel wirklich von Anfang an Spaß macht und es nicht erst ab Charakterlevel 50.
Okay, and like one thing that the developer said is really important, like he liked a lot, is that they said that the game is not supposed to only be fun once you hit endgame, but it should be like fun from level 1 on. Yeah, and I heavily agree with that.
Das passt natürlich auch zum Fokus auf die Kampagne und tatsächlich fühlt sich selbst mein eigentlich noch recht schwächlicher Demo-Held schon durchaus schlagkräftig an. Ein großes Fragezeichen ist natürlich...
I think you can't be like too strong early though, because otherwise your sense of progression will be a bit like diminished, right? Like there needs to be a decent, like you need to be like weak as fuck at level 1, right? I think. If you're like level 1 Giga strong, it feels like Diablo 3, right? And I don't know about that.
Natürlich noch die Langzeitmotivation und das damit verbundene Endgame. Bisher ist dazu noch nichts bekannt. Jetzt wollen die Entwickler erstmal Feedback im Early Access sammeln und da betonten sie auch, dass viele Gameplay-Details durchaus noch zur Diskussion stehen. Auch was Gegnerdichte und andere
He's also saying that the developers are currently very open to community feedback and that many things aren't quite set in stone yet, like for example monster density and stuff like that.
Elemente angeht. Wenn bestimmte Features nicht angenommen werden, will das Team nicht dogmatisch daran fest.
Like if certain features aren't accepted by the community, they don't want to like force them down players' throats, kinda. Here you can also see like that you get more than 5 modifiers, right, to choose from. Like this is has slots, I guess, for 5, but he has like 7 to choose from.
Halten. Und genau so.
And I hope they're not gonna like listen to community feedback. I mean, I think it's good to read and to listen to community feedback in a certain way, but don't make your game worse because due to that, right? Like EHG sometimes did, I guess, right? Poll the community, right? For everything.
So sollte Early Access gedacht werden. Und natürlich wird es auch nach und nach mehr Funktionen geben. Die Early Access Version startet beispielsweise sehr wahrscheinlich nur mit klassischer Maus- und Tastatursteuerung. Doch weil es ja später auch eine Konsolenversion geben wird, ist natürlich auch eine Gamepad-Steuerung geplant. Und
Yeah, so Early Access only with mouse and keyboard and then controller and
auch über eine
other stuff later.
WASD-Steuerung denken die Entwickler schon nach. Bleibt nur zu hoffen, dass Titan Quest 2 nicht zwischen dem Early Access Start von Path of Exile 2 und dem neuen Add-on für Diablo 4 untergeht. Aber
he's saying hopefully Titan Quest 2 is not gonna basically get driven under the bus by Path of Exile 2's Early Access and Diablo 4 DLC. I mean, I don't know, Diablo 4 DLCs.
der geplante Winter-Release kann ja auch durchaus bedeuten, dass Titan Quest 2 erst Anfang
don't know.
2025 startet. Und dann haben viele Genre-Fans ja vielleicht wieder Zeit für ein neues Action-Rollenspiel. Ich bin jedenfalls nach der Gamescom
Okay, I think this is just blah blah now,
sehr
right?
gespannt auf die Rückkehr des Klassikers. Ihr und bis
Yeah, that's just blah blah. Okay, what was this one? Yeah, here they're like talking, right? The problem is this is like 58 minutes long, but there were like some pretty interesting things that we're like talking about here, but I'm not sure if we want to like watch all of this. I don't know, do you want to watch all of this? It's in flippin' German again, which well, I don't mind, but not sure if I want to like translate all of that. It's my stream. I mean, that's true. Maybe you can like watch 1.5 speed or something.
Wir starten hier eben im ersten Chapter nach dem Intro. Das ist auch das, was ihr hier auf der Gamescom spielen könnt. Ihr werdet aber einen kleinen Timer haben, den haben wir jetzt hier unlocked. Das heißt, wir können uns da hier ganz Zeit nehmen. Genau, in dem Intro-Chapter hat Kevin schon erzählt, warum wir hier sind. Wir sind eben geflohen von Nemesis, suchen jetzt die 3
Okay, he's like talking about like what you can play and the lore of the game a bit, right?
Mäurern, die ja in der griechischen Mythologie diese Rolle spielen, dass sie da diese Schicksalsfäden eben so ein bisschen
It's like talking about like how the game is gonna be like,
überwachen.
you know, like the lore is gonna be very, very important and like the story is gonna be nice and you're like some chosen of some nemesis, I think, some god called Nemesis.
Managen. Genau. Und ihr seht hier jetzt gleich schon Titan Quest 1 typisch, also wir sind in dieser griechischen, mythologischen Welt. Es ist alles ein bisschen heller, als ihr es vielleicht aus anderen RPGs kennt. Es ist so ein bisschen vibranter, ihr habt helle, bunte Farben. Es ist eher dieses Strandsetting, wo andere Leute gerne vielleicht Urlaub machen wollen.
Ja, nicht mit den Krabben jetzt bitte eigentlich. Also,
Minus der Krabben, aber das war anscheinend früher so in der Antike, ich weiß jetzt auch nicht ganz genau.
ja, bestimmt.
Bestimmt. Genau.
I think Titan Quest 2 looks pretty fucking good in my opinion. Like, I've seen some people say like TQ2 is like bad or looks bad or whatever, blah blah blah. I think so far it looks pretty good. Like visually it looks, in my opinion, not overly flashy, very rich in detail. Kind of like what I also like about Grim Dawn, for example, just like Grim Dawn is older and has like a worse engine and so on, but
Genau, an mehreren Stellen.
Ich finde es schön, wie wirklich, du spielst eine Minute und die erste Frage, die im Chat kam, wie sieht es eigentlich mit dem Endgame aus? Das sind Action-RPG.
oh my god, the first... So, this is the journalist guy, right, whose video we just watched, and he's like reading out like some questions from the community as well, and literally the first question is like, what's gonna be the endgame?
ich muss das jetzt trotzdem noch nicht weitergeben. Nach diesen 3 Minuten, die wir jetzt gesehen haben, was kannst du uns über das Endgame erzählen?
Genau.
Like he's like after 3 minutes of like watching this, they have to tell him now what the endgame is gonna look like.
Kann ich noch nicht leider allzu viel sagen. Wie gesagt, wir gehen jetzt erstmal in Early Access Mitte dieses Jahres und dann hängt einfach ganz viel davon ab, ja, wie sich der Early Access entwickelt.
So basically saying right now there's literally no endgame, right? Because yeah, he's also like kind of making fun of the guy like us who's asking what's about endgame, right? And I mean the developer basically saying there's not gonna be an endgame. They're focusing on on the campaign first and everything else later. Like they're not gonna have any endgame whatsoever in early access. Because it's all about building the world first. It's all about like building in secrets here and there so that you actually explore the world. It's a very classic, like a more story-driven approach to RPGs, which at least for the first couple of playthroughs is gonna like pay off a lot, in my opinion. Which is like when you should like start getting hooked to a game like this. Unless you're like a zoomer, then I guess you will not get hooked to like exploring and finding stuff. But
und einfach zu gucken, was hat die Welt noch zu bieten. Hier haben wir jetzt eine Statue gefunden, wir können mit der interagieren und stellen fest, wir stellen uns vor, wir würden mit einem mächtigen Löwen rangeln und was kriegen wir dafür? Den Bogen der Macht. Wie passen...
Okay, and here, for example, he's like talking to some like lore statue, right? And he has like different options, like depending on like which option he's choosing, he's getting like a different item from the statue. It's kind of cool.
Der mächtige Löwe gibt uns den Bogen der Macht und so wird man eben auch dafür belohnt, ein bisschen abseits vom Pfad zu gehen und sich diese handgebaute Welt auch wirklich anzuschauen. Natürlich da
So like like he's saying like the player is getting rewarded for like going like a different path, right? Because this is apparently like not on the main path, and then like finding the statue and then like interacting with the statue and like actually doing meaningful decisions in the like conversation window, and depending on like the player's choice, he's getting like a different weapon, for example.
darf man auch ganz normal, wenn man das möchte, einfach durch die Welt spazieren, Gegner klatschen und einfach weitermachen und die Story
Gegner klatschen.
Okay, ich will besseren Loot, ich will einfach Monster klatschen. Alles super, aber wir belohnen euch eben auch dafür, ein bisschen mehr zu gehen, ein bisschen mehr zu schauen und euch die Welt auch wirklich anzuschauen.
Willst du mal kurz ein bisschen ins Inventar gehen?
He like literally said like, I mean, we know like most people in this genre just like to clap enemies, right? So you can like just walk around and clap stuff all the time if you want, but if you actually do want to go a different path, then you will also get a reward for that.
Nach dem Kampf vielleicht kurz über das Itemsystem reden, welche Affixe ihr habt, wie die funktionieren. Es wurden auch schon sehr detaillierte Fragen gestellt.
And to be honest, the German word for clap is like even funnier than the English
Warum
word.
habt ihr euch entschieden, gegenüber Titan Quest 1 das Item-Seltenheitsfarbschema zu ändern? Also hier sind Hardcore-Nerds am Start, genauso habe ich es mir erhofft. Genau, also was kannst du uns über das Itemsystem erzählen?
Also grundsätzlich
Yeah, they're talking about like the colors being different than Titan Quest 1, but rather like Diablo, which I think is fine because mods frequents are still green, legendaries are still purple. Makes sense. Es klatscht uns zwar keinen Beifall. Wolf's Early Access was kinda good. I mean, Wolf's Early Access was actually pretty good, yeah, because like they only had one act in Early Access and that one was actually bug-free almost. And also, yeah, Wolfson got like reworked like 5 times. You can see also like rare items can have like up to 4 modifiers, or I mean 4 affixes rather. And like unique items are supposed to be like build defining. Or like make you change, like make you think or change about, like make you think about your build and like try to change your build. Also, this right here already like looks 5 billion times better than it looks like in Diablo 4, right? In Diablo 4, like items on the ground look absolutely horrendous. Here it actually looks good.
Ich wollte noch ganz kurz auf die Frage eingehen, nicht, dass es so wirklich, dass wir mit ausweichen wollen. Gerade diese Itemfarben, das ist eine ganz hitzige Diskussion, auch bei uns intern im Team.
If there's 4 affixes, why does the name only show 2? That's a good question, yeah. Maybe there's like an option like in last Epoch where you can like only show like one of them or both of them.
Das ist wirklich was, wo wir wirklich, glaube ich, auch auf dieses Early Access Feedback eingehen wollen. Das ist nicht final entschieden, da kann man sich noch alles ändern. Hängt einfach wirklich von Feedback an. Sehe ich das richtig, dass ihr da unten wirklich 8 Skills plus noch den normalen Right Mouse Button habt und einen Dodge? Genau, also wir werden 8 Skills haben.
Okay, yeah, they're gonna have like up to 8 skills here. He's like confirming like 8 skills. No more than 8, but I mean 8 is more than 4 at least, and more than 5 as well. That's pretty nice. It's not quite as many as Grim Dawn still, right? It's actually less than Grim Dawn, but I mean 8 is still like plenty. Yeah? That's very nice.
Eigentlich 10, du wirst ja auf deine Auto-Attack
And like basically 10 with like evade and your auto attack.
Genau, also einiges.
Well, like I mean, you can like put another skill here, of course.
Also wir haben natürlich wieder unser Mastery-System, das heißt, man wählt aus 2 Meisterschaften. Ich kann ja mal kurz
Yeah, so like they have a mastery system, right? You can like choose your skills from your masteries.
neuen Systeme. Man wählt sich aus 2 Meisterschaften, man wählt bis zu 2 Meisterschaften. Wir haben jetzt Warfare und Storm gewählt, die kennt man vielleicht schon aus Titan Quest 1 und so viel können wir sagen. Im Early Access werden wir natürlich mehr als das liefern.
They would have more than just Warfare and Storm in Early Access, is what they're saying.
Was neu ist, was vielleicht Titan Quest 1 Fans aber sehr gefallen könnte, ist, wir haben nicht nur Upgrade-Pfade für unsere Active Abilities, sondern tatsächlich, wir haben die globalen Abilities, unsere Primary Attack und den Dodge hier. Ich könnte auch jederzeit natürlich Eye-Shards statt meiner Primary Attack...
Also, yeah, you like drag and drop your skills around, just like in last Epoch, I think. To like assign your skills to like another button, you like drag and drop. And yeah, you have like upgrade paths for your like default attacks and your like evade and your actives and passives, right, from all those skill trees. Yeah, it's like winter, I think like November or December or something like that. I don't think they have like an exact date yet, but some point around that.
Man kann auch ganz anders defensiv spielen, man kann auch komplett tanky spielen. Und dafür haben wir euch viele Tools gegeben. Also in dem konkreten Fall habe ich jetzt schon ein bisschen gelevelt und ich kann hier Punkte investieren.
And yeah, he's saying like you can play like for DPS, you can play tanky, you can do like different modifiers. You can... Yeah, so like with skill points, you invest them into so-called capacity points. And then like, for example, capacity point 6, you now have like 5 of these things unlocked. So it seems like you need more and more capacity points to like put more skill modifiers. So like first one's gonna be like, I guess 1 point, and like 2 points, then maybe like 5, then 6, then 7, for example, then 8, right? And that's like 10, 13, 16. They get like increasingly more expensive. Yeah, you can see like this is I think 1, 2, then 4. No, 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 6, 8, 10. Right? Like the first 4 are like less expensive, and then they get like more and more expensive. So they're like trying to incentivize to not only like pump one skill right away, but rather to like spread your points across like a couple of different skills first, and then pump like your main skill maybe later. And also the paths for like modifiers, unlike in Grim Dawn and Titan Quest 1, where they are linear, right? Now they are, you can like choose whatever you want, right? You can like choose whatever is available to you, and I think the availability of modifiers depends on certainly like your mastery like tier that you have unlocked for the masteries, but it might also depend on, for example, your attributes, right? Like I think some of the attributes said like they will unlock like speed-based modifiers or like might-based modifiers, stuff like that. So if you're using like a skill, I guess like a green skill is maybe like speed-based, or like a red skill is like might-based. So you will need like a certain amount of might to like get new modifiers for that skill.
Die Skills besser machen, investieren. Du kannst aber auch gleichzeitig sagen, okay, wir haben hier verschiedene Modifier, wie zum Beispiel den Overwhelm-Gain, der sagt, wenn ich diesen Skill jetzt benutze, bekomme ich Overwhelm. Solange ich keinen Overwhelm habe, verbessert es meine Attack, aber ansonsten bekomme ich Overwhelm-Stacks. Und dann fragt man sich natürlich, okay, wofür brauche ich die denn? Wenn ich dann aber mal auf meine andere Ability gucke, nämlich den Stomp, finde ich hier einen anderen Modifier, der sagt, hey, wenn du volles Overwhelm hast, machst du mehr Damage, hast einen höheren Radius und eine höhere Stun Duration. Das heißt,
what the fuck is there NordVPN in here? Anyway, so he's like saying, for example, there's also like combinations of modifiers that have like synergy with each other. For example, the default attack like can generate overwhelm stacks, right? And then like your leap now has like a overwhelm consume. So well, this sounds like a little bit like generator spender system, but it's like one of the modifiers, right? Like it's not like all skills are like that, but if you want to play more like a generator spender system, then you can do that here as well with like this overwhelm, for example. They really do any Grim Dawn stuff on the stream yet. I did look at the Misadventure, the last one. But that's it.
Jetzt hast du es halt gejinxt, jetzt werden sie dich gleich umbringen.
Ja, das ist nicht das erste Mal, dass das passiert. Ich habe jetzt hier, wie man hier sieht, meinen Overwhelm-Buff. Ich habe bis zu 3.
Also, yeah, you can see like your buffs on the bottom left. I really like this. I mean, it's just like in Grim Dawn and not like in Titan Quest or Path of Exile, like on the top left. It's actually down here where like you usually have your eyes as well, and then like I guess the buffs are gonna be like bottom right and like buffs bottom left. What I personally don't like are health globes. I would prefer health bars way more, but oh well. New season tomorrow, hooray!
Ich finde das Skillsystem ziemlich cool, muss ich sagen. Also, dass man sich die...
I mean, New Grim Dawn season might come out like tomorrow and like a couple of weeks from now. Who knows?
Die Boni modular zusammenstellen kann und dafür dann einfach mehr Punkte bekommt, finde ich, ist ein sehr elegantes, interessantes System. Ich mag das, wenn Action-RPGs dir ein bisschen diese Freiheit geben.
Genau, für uns ist vor allem auch wichtig, dass dieses System, vielleicht auf den Endgame-Punkt zu kommen, dieses System soll von Level 1 angreifen. Das heißt, von Anfang an bekomme ich meine Levelpunkte, ich kann sie in Actives investieren, ich kann sie in Passives investieren, wir haben also Active und Passive Points und ich bekomme regelmäßig genug, dass ich mich regelmäßig für beides entschieden kann. Und worauf ich gerade noch nicht eingegangen bin, was ich noch kurz erwähnen kann, wir haben natürlich auch Passives und im Gegensatz zu Titan Quest 1 haben wir sie auch erweitert. Ich kann nicht nur Punkte in meine Passives investieren.
So yeah, here is like, yeah, you get active points for your actives, passives for your passives, and then for example here he has weapon proficiency, So okay, like per level, it actually does increase your damage or like your stats here. So I think what I said earlier was maybe wrong. You do get like more modifier slots, but you do actually also like scale the skill itself up a bit. So here, for example, you have like increased damage with weapon attacks, increased attack speed. I mean, this is like a very basic physical kind of thing, I guess. Not necessarily only physical, actually, like weapon, any skill that like uses your weapons, I guess. So it could also be maybe like a fire damage, like a melee skill using fire damage as well, but for like not an actual like magic spell, right? But I mean, that's what you would probably like, expect from like a basic master such as warfare, right? Might be correct for skills, what is shown as a passive. Yeah. But like passive get modifiers on top, right, as well. Yeah, like you also get feats, so-called feats. I guess they don't get as many. So like these might scale up with levels, and then you only get like feats on top, of which you have like less, and then the actives have like no damage scaling, but they have like way more modifiers. Which is interesting.
Das heißt, ich kann hier meine Passes auch noch verändern. Wir haben hier ein Bild, der relativ stark auf die Waffe bezogen ist. Das heißt, es macht Sinn, einfach meinen Waffendamage zu verstärken. Aber wenn wir meine Primary Tech nochmal gucken, habe ich dann einen anderen Modifier, der damit interagiert, dass ich Chill-Stacks auf meine Gegner apply. Also ich friere sie ein und dann exploite ich das. Und ich habe mir gedacht,
doing the chills.
Ich will noch mehr Chill-Stacks applyen, ich will das aber noch besser können.
Okay, and now he's like investing 6, right? Because he wants even more chill stacks, and now he gets like 50% ailment chance here as a feat. Right, as a feature, so yeah, it's kind of nice.
Ein Feed für mein Passive, der dann sagt, okay, ich apply diese Chill-Stacks einfach noch viel mehr und so verbessere ich mein Bild noch weiter. Und ich habe da ganz viele Choices. In den Modifiern selber kann ich in verschiedene Richtungen gehen und egal welchen Bild ich möchte, egal was ich spielen möchte, ich finde immer irgendwie Modifier oder Passives.
Not having a Rumbo hexagonal dodecahedron as a live display.
Die für mich funktionieren.
Das klingt jetzt schon eher komplex verglichen mit so RPGs wie Casuals.
He's saying this looks rather complex for casuals. Holy fuck, this is a D4 gamer, found a D4 gamer. I don't think this is like really complex. Like, this is very intuitive. The skill descriptions look decent. They don't seem like overly cryptic like in Grim Dawn sometimes, or like in PoE. And there isn't even like a devotion system, right? This is pretty basic. I mean, it is, of course, more customizability as in D4, but like literally every game and their mom has like more customizability than D4, right?
Auf einer Skala von Diablo bis Path of Exile, wie viele Drucktasten brauche ich? Also vielleicht kann ich da kurz was zu sagen, genau. Ich würde sagen,
Yeah, he's like saying on a scale from D4 to Path of Exile, how complex is this? And he's pretty much saying like to get into it, you won't have to like look at a guide, or like you don't have to like play this game a lot. Basically saying it's gonna be like somewhere in the middle, right? I think this is more like Diablo 4 at this point than like Path of Exile. But it's a very good baseline, I think. You can like always build on top of those, like get more systems on top. He's getting like not only onslaught stacks but also rage stacks, which like give him more attack speed and like more damage, right?
Kann ich das tun und ich habe die weiter.
Chat will mehr Blut beim Töten. Chat ist sehr blutrünstig.
He's saying the chat wants more blood, right? Like he's saying the game doesn't have enough like blood effects. They want more blood when you kill monsters.
Ich meine grundsätzlich, wir haben schon Blut. Ich verstehe natürlich mehr Blut.
The dev says, I mean, we already have blood, but you of course understands that they want more blood.
Das halten wir einfach mal so fest.
So,
Absolut, absolut.
yeah, maybe there's gonna be more blood.
Beim Skillsystem ist, dass man es anders funktioniert, wie man die Meisterschaften auflevelt. Ne? Weil früher hast du auch da erstmal Punkte rein investieren müssen, um neue Skills freizuschalten. Wie funktioniert das jetzt diesmal und warum habt ihr das geändert?
I wasn't sure you'd make it, but you pulled through.
Rekt mat gelottrekt Z gelottrekt mat gelottrekt Z gelottrekt mat gelottrekt Z gelottrekt mat gelottrekt Z gelot.
Thanks for the 12 months, adjacent. Appreciate the entire year of being a bloomer. Welcome back, welcome back. Thank you so much. So what he's asking now is basically why did they change the mastery system, like how the mastery progress works in Titan Quest and Grim Dawn, right? You just like invest points down there and now you don't have to anymore. So he's like asking how is it gonna work now, basically, right?
Genau, also grundsätzlich funktioniert das tatsächlich immer noch genauso. Kevin, du kannst ja nach dem Kampf vielleicht nochmal kurz den Skilltree aufmachen. Also wir haben weiterhin die Mastery Bar sozusagen. Man füllt sie jetzt aber eben mit dem Titan-Eker, mit dem Titanblut auf.
Okay, so yeah, you still have a Mastery Bar, right? As you can see, the down left here is like tier 1 and like tier 2, 3, 4, which is like blocked by the cams right now. And there's gonna be like more skills that have been unlocked by those. But you know, fill those not with like skill points or active points, but with so-called Titan's Ichor, which
Jetzt nicht, vielleicht nicht ganz so gut, aber
Wir haben
genau.
ja sehr ungünstig unsere Kamera über diese Leiste gelegt, aber zum Glück habe ich es schon mal gespielt. Da wäre jetzt eine Leiste, die bis... Ah, oh, die Regie ist
Perfekt, vielen
aufgetragen.
Dank.
Schaut,
Genau.
das geht bis 4 hoch. Genau, wie funktioniert das?
Genau, also es ist weiterhin so, dass man pro Tierstufe sozusagen neue Skills unlockt. Ihr investiert weiterhin Punkte in die einzelnen Skilltrees, nur wie ihr diese Punkte unlockt, die ihr dann in diese Bars rein investieren könnt, läuft ein bisschen anders. Das ist jetzt eben nicht mehr an Level-Ups gebunden, sondern auch an Spielfortschritt. Also das ist
okay, so it's basically like saying they're like progress locked. So I guess maybe like at the end of an act or like after doing some quests, you basically gain Titan's Ichor, which then allow you to progress your mastery bar, which unlocks new skills. Here you can see some more features of Heart of Battle. For each enemy within a certain radius, you gain more damage. So, okay, like the more stuff is around you, the more damage you deal. And then here you get like more increased armor per enemy around you.
das ist jetzt
Increased damage per enemy.
eben nicht mehr.
I mean, this is not like insane. This is just like some kind of basic stuff, but it's kind of decent customizability. Then he also has like the Stomp, right? Stomp the ground, dealing damage, blah blah blah.
Spielfortschritt. Also das
Let's bring some more points here. As you can see, as he puts points, there is no damage increase. So you can't just like put points to get more damage. You have to actually like use your passives to gain more damage, or get the modifiers to gain more damage. Unused gained rage stacks, 5% aim chance per rage.
in die Geschichte verteilt das 2 ein bisschen eingebunden.
What is he picking up here? This is a slam, right? Leap slam. Rage stacks if you hit an enemy on landing.
Wie man sie aber dann ausgibt,
It's like basically making your range gain higher. You have to build a game appropriate to adjust density reasonably. Yeah, kinda.
ist wieder dem Spiel überlassen.
Genau, was man vielleicht auch gerade gesehen hat, ich habe relativ fröhlich einfach mal ein paar Skills investiert. Natürlich wird es Respec-Kosten geben, um die Skills wieder zurückzusetzen.
There's gonna be respec cost to reset your skills,
Aber wenn ich jetzt zum Beispiel merke, der Overwhelm-Modifier von Storm gefällt mir nicht so gut, könnte ich ihn rausnehmen.
but you can freely change modifiers as you want, like at any point, right? You have like added base aim and chance.
Modifier mit reinnehmen. Das heißt, ich habe auch auf jeden Fall sehr viel
So you would have to like respec the actual point that you invest, but you can swap the modifiers as
was
well.
natürlich auch einfach macht, coole Kombos zu finden, die mir gefallen. Das heißt, ich logge mich nicht rein, sondern ich habe ein bisschen, kann ich was probieren und wenn ich zu viele Entscheidungen falsch getroffen habe, dann kann ich dann noch respecken oder mir die einfach nicht gefallen, mir andere Skills aussuchen und innerhalb der Skills kann ich frei wählen, wie ich möchte und auch die Feeds bei den Passives können dann hinterher noch frei ausgetauscht werden.
Yeah, there was another like 12% damage increase. I mean, these like feats don't look like insane right now, but I mean, kind of looks like the Diablo 4 skill tree branches, I guess, in a way. But I would say there's already like more here than D4 at least, so it's decent-ish.
Okay, finde ich cool.
Genau. Und was ihr hier vielleicht gerade noch gesehen habt, was Kevin noch nebenbei gemacht hat, ist, er ist rumgelaufen, hat bei den Ichtiens Münzen gefunden, die er jetzt hier bei dem Shrine einsetzen konnte, eine Opfergabe darbringen konnte, wo wir wieder mit einem Item belohnt wurden. Das unterstreicht einfach wieder so ein bisschen dieses
Also, yeah, there were like coins that like the enemies dropped, and then he could like use those coins at the shrine to offer them, and like he got an item in return. Kind of reminds me of the Slith necklace quest, right? Where you have Slith necklaces dropping from a Slith. 3 of them, you get a ring in Grim Dawn. It's kind of like the same thing, but like,
man wird belohnt durch das
I mean, they're kind of nice.
Ja, dass der Spieler sich auseinandersetzt.
It's like a mini side quest in a way.
Rumprobiert und genau, da auch was da ist, wenn man links und rechts vom Pfad schaut.
Was ich gerade gelesen habe und was mich natürlich auch interessiert, wie sieht es aus mit Multiplayer, Koop und vor allem online?
Genau, also ist auf jeden Fall geplant, nicht zum initialen Early Access Launch dieses Jahr, aber bis zum
Multiplayer and co-op is planned, not on early access though.
Release wird Multiplayer auch wieder Platz.
Warum ist online oder Entschuldigung, habt ihr auch einen Offline-Modus?
Das Spiel ist offline, wir sind nicht offline, sowas machen wir nicht, auch keine Microtransactions. Wir haben
Okay, the game is gonna be offline, not online. No microtransactions, right?
im Spiel, ihr kauft es einmal, könnt es immer spielen.
Buy to play, play
Wir
it.
versuchen da Titan 1 klassisch und auch Grimlaw klassisch, was wir auch das Deathhouse gemacht
Ja,
haben.
ja.
Ihr kauft das Hauptspiel, wenn es euch Spaß macht, kauft DLCs, da wird dann auf jeden Fall vollgepackt mit Story,
And there's gonna be like more DLCs with like story, new character, like new masteries and so on.
Masteries, Waffenklassen, solche Sachen sein, aber genau, keine Subscriptions.
Finde ich freue mich tatsächlich vor allem über Offline, weil lange Zeit war es mir inzwischen eher egal, dass inzwischen so viele Spiele online sind, weil du bist ja eh meistens online und so. Aber seit der Ankunft der Mobile Gaming Handhelds, Steam Deck und dann Konsorten, bin ich mehr und mehr genervt davon, dass gerade ARPGs und gerade konkret Diablo immer online ist, weil das sind ja eigentlich die perfekten.
Now he's saying that like, well, he kind of didn't mind like games going online all the time now because, well, you have like internet access pretty much all the time now anyway, right? So like it's not a big deal to be an online only game. But on the other hand, now you have like handhelds like Steam Deck, for example, right? That well, if you're like, you know, on the train, for example, in Germany, I think he's gonna say, because that would be a classic example, right? If you're like in a train in Germany, right, and you want to like play Diablo 4 and you Steam Deck, you can't fucking play it because it requires an internet connection. But like in Germany, there's no like proper internet connection outside of your home, pretty much, right? So yeah, he's glad that it's offline because of that, right? Because you can just like download it to your Steam Deck and then like play it there.
Auch zwischendurch auf Reisen spiele, wenn man mal kurz im Zug sitzt und ich bin sicher, es gibt Länder, wo das kein Problem ist. Es gibt sicher Nationen auf dieser Welt, die technologisch...
He's saying he's sure about there being some exotic, high and evolved, like high-tech country where it's possible to do that, but Germany is not one of them.
...weit genug entwickelt sind, dass man dort auf einem Handheld im Zug Diablo 4 spielen kann. Leider sind wir keins von diesen Ländern. Diese fernexotischen Nationen, Deutschland zählt nicht dazu. Deswegen freut es mich sehr, dass wir euch dann dort auf Handheld spielen können. Das finde ich sehr angenehm.
Genau, vielleicht können wir hier an der Stelle ganz noch ein bisschen noch was zur Welt sagen. Wir haben hier eine kleine Debug-Version, das wird so im normalen Spiel nicht möglich sein, aber ich wollte mir mal die Freiheit nehmen, dass wir das hier anzeigen, weil wir haben diesen Tagesablauf wieder zurückgebracht aus Titan Quest 1. Das war uns wichtig, dass wir einfach eine Möglichkeit haben, nochmal diese Welt so zusammenzubinden. Also alles wird ja auch in einem normalen Tageszeitablauf im Spiel passieren. Und im Early Access ist es jetzt erstmal nur eine visuelle Sache, aber über den Early Access planen wir auf jeden Fall, dass wir da auch vielleicht noch Gameplay-Features mit dranhängen. Also stellt euch vor, ihr seid an einem Friedhof und am Tag ist da die trauernde Mutter, die einem vielleicht eine Aufgabe gibt, aber wenn man nachts kommt, dann warten einen die Skelette. Also das sind auf jeden Fall Möglichkeiten, die wir uns offen halten wollen.
Das ist also nicht nur kosmetisch, sondern ihr macht auch Gameplay und Quest-Design-mäßig was damit. Finde ich gut.
Ist auf jeden Fall...
Okay, yeah, he would just like showcase the day-night cycle, right? And he's saying that like currently it's only cosmetic, but you can, and they probably will have gameplay features attached to that as well. So maybe like some mob spawning at night only, for example.
Wie ist denn euer aktueller Stand an Terminen, Inhaltsroadmap? Was könnt ihr dazu schon sagen?
Genau, also offiziell eben, wir gehen Winter dieses Jahres in Early Access Phase. Wir haben auch schon ein bisschen was in Hinterhand für die Updates natürlich, aber wollten uns natürlich auch noch Freiraum lassen, um dann auf das...
Oh, for example here, right, he's showing off the cave and like different, like how the cave looks like at different times of the day, right? Which looks pretty nice. Right? And I guess at night there's not going to be any light at all here.
Wie gesagt, das ist uns auch wirklich wichtig. Wir lesen da auch fleißig mit, was die Community so zu sagen hat und diskutieren da auch wirklich viel intern. Genau, grundsätzlich, was die Roadmap angeht, da würde ich einfach auf die Devlogs, die wir auf Steam führen, verweisen. Da wird es dann auf jeden Fall zeitnah Updates geben, was ganz konkret geplant ist.
I mean, as long as they have like some kind of server at some point in the future, or as long as they have a more stable peer-to-peer as Grim Dawn has, right, it's already going to be like decent multiplayer experience. Because Grim Dawn was a little bad when it comes to that, because the peer-to-peer wasn't also stable for some reason, like caused some weird issues sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. Like in the past, right? Like for example, a game like Warcraft 3 had like all those like lobby systems and so on. They were like perfectly fine as well in the past, and it wasn't like a true online game either, you could say, I guess.
Haben wir die Entangling-Spider, die uns mit ihrem Web abschießt. Natürlich alleine nicht super gefährlich. Ja, ich kann das vielleicht mal kurz zeigen. Wenn ich drin stehen bleibe, werde ich geroutet.
He's talking about, I don't like indicators, but there's like this indicator, right, for the web where it lands, and he's getting rooted or slow depending like where it hits somewhere, I think.
Außerhalb werde ich ein bisschen geslowt, verlangsamt. Natürlich alleine nicht so gefährlich, aber mit den richtigen Gegnern gepaart kann das schon ein gefährlicher Encounter werden. Und das ist auch ein Design-Fokus von uns, dass wir wollen, dass Spieler nicht nur einfach blind durch die Gegner rennen und es einfach Loot weg sind, sondern tatsächlich so wie hier jetzt, habe ich nicht aufgepasst.
I don't know how I feel about the indicator, but
und bin direkt in der Säure gestanden.
It is what it is.
Das hat mir ganz schön Schaden gemacht. Und zusammen mit der Entangling-Spider, die mich festhalten könnte, hätte das auch ganz schön schief gehen können.
We played Grim Dawn yesterday and had a choice of 2 games in the lobby, neither was the right level for you.
Wenn man sein Bild nicht entsprechend vorbereitet hat. In dem Fall habe ich ein relativ squishy Bild.
I mean, that's just, I mean, how many people are playing Grim Dawn right now? There's like 2,000 people even playing the game right now. It's not very many. I played tons of online actually when Forgotten Gods, no, when I think AOM came out. I played quite a bit of like online when AOM came out, but like back then there were like 20,000 people playing Grim Dawn and not like 2,000. And if you were playing Grim Dawn like last year in November, for example, when patch 1.2 came out, there was like 11,000 people playing at that point. I mean, right now it's like summer and people are playing like a very good PoE league and stuff. So like Grim Dawn has very few players right now.
Das heißt, ich bin darauf aus, dass ich diesen Schlägen einfach ausweiche, dass ich versuche.
Yeah, I don't know. I think indicators should just not be a thing in the first place, because the skill should be indicated differently than with indicators. Yeah, you could do like a shadow, for example, I
Aber wie
guess.
schon erwähnt, natürlich werde ich auch meine Builds spielen können, die defensiver sind, die dann einfach sagen, okay, ich halte das aus, ich habe genügend Regeneration oder einfach Resistenzen, dass mir das egal ist. Aber man muss auf eine oder
That would
andere
also
Weise
look better.
sein. Natürlich stirbt man da nicht sofort, man muss kein Profispieler sein, aber wir wollen es ein bisschen mehr challenging machen, wie man es eben auch schon Titan Quest kennt, dass man einfach ein bisschen mehr mit den Gegnern engagieren muss, aber eben auch mit den Gegnern engagieren kann, weil man eben entsprechende Tools durch die Masteries bekommt.
Es wird gefragt, wie Tränke funktionieren bei euch.
He's saying like combat should be like feel a bit responsive, but not like overly complicated, I guess. I mean, they said at some point like gameplay is gonna matter more than gear or something like that. I don't see that. I mean, this looks like standard ARPG combat to me with like evade on top and like some abilities that always like matter that you have to like dodge, but it's not like a Dark Souls at all, right? Like not at all.
Oh ja, super Frage. Also wir haben Tränke als Items, allerdings nicht als Items, die sich verbrauchen.
Yeah, he's asking about
Sondern tatsächlich
the
einfach
pots.
Items und Tränke können sowohl Aufleveln als auch Affixer haben. Und auf diesen Affixen können natürlich weitere Effekte sein, sodass ich auch zu meinem
So pots can level up and have affixes,
vielleicht halt es nicht im Kampf,
because they're basically items.
Kampfes, sodass man je nachdem, was man halt braucht, seine Tränke auch noch customizen kann. Und das ist allgemein der Fokus bei uns. Wir wollen in jedem Element, wo das Einfluss auf dein Bild hat, eben diese Customization anbieten, dass du genauso spielen kannst, wie du willst. Wenn du den kompletten Tank willst, der einfach alles aushält, wollen wir dir möglichst viele Optionen dafür geben. Und Tränke sind ein Teil davon.
Wie laden die sich wieder auf? Ist das einfach Cooldown-basiert? Kann ich mehr Charges
Oh yeah, how do you recharge your pots? A good question.
bekommen? Konkret aktuell ist es einfach über Schaden. Das heißt, ich habe
So currently you're recharging your pots by dealing damage.
Charges, wenn man das links unten sieht. Die 3 Bubble zeigen mir, ich kann jetzt 3-mal mein Potion benutzen, in dem Fall 2-mal. Und wenn ich Schaden austeile, lädt sich das wieder auf. Also da gehen wir einen relativ klassischen Weg, aber auch da könnte man da...
So here, this outer circle, right? Whenever he's dealing damage, it's like filling up this bar, and like whenever it's full, I think he gets like a charge. Something like that.
Genau, es ist auf jeden Fall denkbar, dass man zum Beispiel auch sagt,
Whenever he like presses the button, I think he pressed it like at some point. Where did he press
Zweimal.
it?
Und wenn ich Schaden austeile, lädt sich das wieder auf. Also da
Yeah, like here he was like pressing it, right? So like it consumes like a part of this like bar here. So I guess it's like... I mean, okay, so it says like 1 charge now, right? Because 1 charge consumes this much, and I guess it would consume up to like here, and this remaining part then would not be enough for like a 3rd charge. So it's like 2.5 charges he has right now. But I guess depending on the pot, or like depending on the build, or like depending on whatever items you have, right? You could have like more or less here.
gehen wir einen relativ klassischen Weg, aber auch da könnte man darüber nachdenken, dass auch im Early Access...
Oh yeah, I mean these are the thresholds, right? Like this thing right here, these small like indicators here, are the thresholds.
weiter zu evaluieren und mit den Spielern...
So like mana is like consuming up the entire circle right now.
was für Wege es noch gibt, dass das gut funktionieren könnte.
genau, es ist auf jeden Fall denkbar, dass man zum Beispiel auch sagt, hey, ich spiele den Rogue, ich habe Crit-Build, dass man sagt, man lädt den
I think the problem is that if they rely too much on these mechanics, then endgame might be problematic to the point where you need to soft cap your C resistances, or you'll have a horrible time. I mean, or you just get good, right? Depends. But I think like every RPG should allow you to like make some builds, or like at least one build that is like playable for absolute Pepegas, right? That can't dodge anything.
geblockten Schaden oder irgendwie sowas, wenn man einen Tank spielt. Also da sind wir noch viel am Rumüberlegen und rumprobieren.
Like, I think it's fine that if you're not good at the game, that you can't play like every single build in the game, in a game like this. But there should be at least always like 1 or 2 builds with which you're gonna have a good time in a way, right?
Ich frage nach Builds war auch gerade schon vorher, ich frage mich das auch, wie funktioniert das mit Klassen? Habt ihr irgendwie, suche ich mir eine Klasse aus und habe dann eine Auswahl an Skills oder baue ich alles selbst?
Genau, also Titan Quest hat das schon im ersten Teil eben angefangen. Du hast anders als in anderen RPGs nicht die startest mit der Klassenauswahl, sondern du wählst aus einem Pool von Masteries, aus Fähigkeitsbäumen und wählst da 2 aus, was sozusagen ja, so eine Pseudo-Klasse ergibt, die du dir selber bauen kannst. Hier im Bild haben wir jetzt eben Warfare, was eher so ein klassischer Krieger ist, und Storm, was so ein Frost- und Blitzmagier.
Yeah, they're like talking about like how the masteries work in this game compared to like in Diablo for it. You don't choose your classes, character creation, you choose them in the game later. Which is, well, for us Grim Dawn veterans, I guess, nothing new.
Genau, das kann ich einfach mal auspacken. Ich habe hier zufällig einen Eisstab gelootet, den ich einfach mal benutzen kann. Ich habe jetzt nichts an meinem Skill weiterhin geändert. Ich habe jetzt einfach nur, ich habe einfach einen Stab genommen und mir gesagt, okay, ich probiere es.
But yeah, his default attack like automatically changes right when he is like equipping a staff instead of like a spear, for example. It even changes the icon here, which is pretty cool, right? That's kind of cool.
Damit mal, alle meine Fähigkeiten funktionieren weiterhin. Die Modifier funktionieren weiterhin. Actually nehme ich mir vielleicht mal den Eisstab hier. Okay, vielleicht hat sich ein kleiner Bug eingeschlichen.
Der schießt gerade nicht, ne? Aber
He literally just said like, so I can just swap the weapon freely and like still use all my skills. And then the second he swaps it, he can't use any skills because it's like some kind of bug.
man hat es gerade kurz gesehen. Vorher hattest du kurz Projektile.
Ja, wir sind hier noch, der Games von dir ist leider noch...
So now he's like trying to fix the bug.
Mal eben, ob ich das gefixt kriege.
Okay.
Dann derweil können wir noch weiter Fragen aus dem Chat vorlesen.
Okay.
Es wird gefragt, welche Steuerungsoptionen ihr anbietet. WASD, Controller, was wollt ihr da alles machen?
Genau, also WASD-Steuerung haben wir uns auf jeden Fall angeschaut.
It seems like he's like locked into melee animations there for some reason, and like he's not actually shooting the projectiles that he's supposed to shoot. Oh well.
Das Konzept auch erstmal Early Access, werden wir klassisch bleiben, ganz normal, wie ihr es aus Titan Quest 1 auch gewohnt seid.
So who knows? Maybe weapon swapping is gonna be buggy on Early Access release. Who knows, right?
Das wird natürlich auch eine PC Option sein, aber alles weitere werden wir dann sehen.
Yeah, clicking on go to collect like has to go. Like no fucking way. Like that's just.
Ganz aufmerksam, was da so die Trends angeht natürlich. Ja, hoffentlich Nintendo Bongo Donkey Kong Controller Support bin ich auch definitiv.
Like you
also Bongo spielen da schon cool.
feel the weight, right? But no.
Nintendo Trommel Controller, ja.
Auf Trommel, ja natürlich. Deshalb ist auf jeden Fall.
Okay, fix the bug apparently.
Initial im Early Access drin, aber es ist echt.
Man muss ja das Feedback der Fans einnehmen, ne? Aber ich hatte noch die wichtigste Frage, eine ganz wichtige Frage. Wird es einen Minion Master Necromancer geben?
He's asking one important question: Is there gonna be a Minion Master
Wir werden
Necromancer?
auf jeden Fall Pet-Klassen haben.
Sehr gut.
They would have pet classes.
Sehr, sehr wichtige Frage, wichtigste eigentlich. Wie sieht man was im weitesten Sinne gefragt wurde, die Meisterschaften, wie weit?
He said that was the most important question. I love pet builds. Oh my
alle
god.
auf Titan Quest 1 drin? Habt ihr neue drin?
He's a pet enjoyer. That was cringe.
Genau, ich würde sagen, bisher haben wir uns auf jeden Fall auf die klassischen Masteries konzentriert. Early Access werden wir auf jeden Fall mit mehr Masteries starten, als ihr jetzt hier seht. Also werden auf jeden Fall mehr als 3 sein, damit ihr euch das aussuchen könnt auch. Und
Okay, so Early Access is gonna have more than 3 masteries, right? Huh? Or did he say release?
Early Access werden wir auf jeden Fall mit mehr Masteries
No, yeah. Early Access will have more than 3 masteries.
starten, als ihr jetzt hier seht. Also werden auf jeden Fall mehr als 3 sein, damit ihr euch das aussuchen könnt auch. Und dann werden Masteries über Early Access noch folgen. Momentan.
And then they're gonna like have more masteries during Early Access, and then after release they're gonna have even more masteries via DLCs. Looks smooth, and if you remember Titan Quest 1, but click and go to collect. I mean, yeah, that's just terrible, right? I wonder if they fixed the scaling between caster and meta builds in Titan Quest. Casters lacked a lot of for endgame. I mean, the game is like very different, so hopefully they're gonna fix that as well.
Auf der Roadmap sind eher klassische Masteries, die aus Titan Quest 1 auch kennt.
Okay.
Genau, ganz kurz noch, also jetzt hat es endlich geklappt, der Bug hat sich zum Glück gefixt.
Yeah, apparently they have already like 3, but they're only showing 2. Otherwise, he wouldn't say they would have more than 3, I guess.
Mit denen wir interagieren können. Aber wir setzen natürlich auch kleinere Highlights wie dieses hier, um eben die Geschichte auch weiterhin zu erzählen. Ganz konkret haben wir jetzt nämlich festgestellt, dass die Ichtians, die wir die ganze Zeit hier bekämpft haben, dass die Ichtier die Dorfbewohner angreifen und wir helfen natürlich heldenhaft, wie wir sind. Und
I mean, yeah, they have like tier 1 of 2 of them. At least that's what they're showing here. I would assume they have more internally, but for this demo they only have that. Warfare is all you need. I mean, I would assume it's not gonna be literally the same balance as Titan Quest 1, right?
Ich muss dich kurz unterbrechen, nur kurz zu, das sieht ja verdammt cool aus. Also das ist ja vom Leveldesign her richtig schön, wie das mit Hintergrund und Perspektive hier spielt. Das machen Action-RPGs nicht so oft, das finde ich geil.
Genau. Wir wollen die Welt natürlich auch ein bisschen zelebrieren, euch auch
This looks pretty good indeed, yeah.
Nicht nur eben zu looten und zu leveln, das wird immer der Fokus bleiben, aber eben auch mal ein bisschen entspannen, sich die Welt anschauen und sagen, okay, ich lebe diese Welt tatsächlich und ich lebe in dieser Welt, nicht nur die Gegner.
Kick a brick and the bridge crumbles. Grim Dawn, dynamite to blow up a wooden fence. Yep.
Der Immersion sind wir sehr
Also wir versuchen ein bisschen den Spagat zu schlagen zwischen den Action-RPG-Spielern, die halt einfach Combat toujours haben wollen, was auch absolut verständlich ist, aber wir wollen halt diese Combat-Pausen immer ein bisschen nutzen, um eben Worldbuilding voranzutreiben, ein bisschen Story, aber jetzt auch nicht zu einem Maß, wo es RPG-Spieler abschrecken wird, würde ich sagen. Also auch trotz schöner Welt, die ich tatsächlich auch sehr, sehr ansprechend finde, es gibt doch eher wenig Gegner. Also die Mobdichte fand ich jetzt in dem, was wir hier gesehen haben, ziemlich
He's saying, okay, the world is cool and all, but the density is very low. Mob density.
Wir haben auf jeden Fall noch mehr Gegner geplant. Wir sind jetzt hier tatsächlich gerade an einem ganz guten Punkt.
No, he's saying they have more enemies planned. Which kind of dodges the question, right? Because it's not more density, but he says there's more mobs planned. He doesn't specifically say they have more density planned.
Ist ein bisschen schwierig abzuschätzen, was
he said it's kind of like difficult to like predict how many mobs will feel good and how many won't feel good and so on.
Ja, was du sagen würdest, dass in anderen Spielen normal ist. Ich würde sagen, wir sind eigentlich ganz gut aufgestellt. Wir haben auf jeden Fall mehr Factions im Early Access auch, die...
He's saying, he's kind of like really dodging the question here, right? Like the guy asked about density and he's talking about mob diversity and not density. He's saying like they have like different factions, like different like types of enemies and so on.
Also man hier sieht, die Ichtians spielen einfach eine ganz große Rolle in diesem Chapter, weil die einfach einen ganz großen Konflikt vorantreiben.
I mean, that's also important, but it's like literally dodging the question.
Grundsätzlich, was ich aber da auf jeden Fall noch dazu sagen kann, ist, wir haben eben bei diesen Factions, wo wir davon sprechen, verschiedene Klassen. Das hat man vorhin bei den Ichtians auch schon gesehen. Da gibt es dann eben nicht nur den einen Speerwerfer, sondern da gibt es auch noch den mit dem Schild und den Zauber.
He's also like talking about like how this is a little weird, like he's saying like there's different factions and they have different classes. Like a Grim Dawn brain thinks about, okay, like what if there's like player classes that are like, you know, locked behind friendly factions and stuff like that. No, he's talking about like enemy factions as in like boars or ichthyans or crabs, and they have different classes, and as in there's like ichthyans with like spears and with staves and stuff like that, or like with shields. Yeah, that's it's just like saying there's different mob types between like different families of mobs.
So ein bisschen das Klassensystem, ja, so Kampfsituationen zu erzeugen, wo der Spieler ein bisschen überlegen muss, wie er die jetzt genau löst. Konzentriert man sich jetzt eher auf den Heiler oder auf den Assassinen, der hinten dran steht. Genau, also
so that like the player is forced to make like decisions. Is he like gonna focus on the healer first or the assassins first, or is he gonna be like stuck at a tank, or like with the spiders? I think they show like earlier showcase like the one spider throwing a web, the other one exploding. So like you don't want to get trapped by the web, so they don't get hit by the explosion. Which, I mean, to people that have like played ARPGs or like RPGs with like this kind of combat before, it's very basic stuff, but it's still kind of cool. He just makes it think like he makes it seem like it's something more special than it really is, honestly.
dadurch hat man vielleicht auch öfters mal ähnlichere Gegner, die sich aber im Kampfgefühl dann doch stark unterscheiden.
Genau, also vor allem dadurch, dass wir mehr wollen, dass Spieler auch auf ihre Umgebung achten und auch auf die Gegner, wollen wir natürlich auch die Gelegenheit bieten, das zu tun und dann dementsprechend auch anders zu reagieren, vielleicht andere Builds, dass sie anders auf den Encounter eingehen, aber natürlich werden wir auch unsere großen Encounter haben und die Gelegenheit haben, einfach Monster abzuschlachten und auf diese Call-Up zu kommen, die man natürlich kennt, und je nach Bild würde es sich auch anders anfühlen. Manchmal ignoriert man vielleicht die großen Massen erstmal, geht auf die Spezialisten, manchmal genau andersrum, und je nach Bild soll sich das
I mean, they're like talking about like as if mobs in Titan Quest 2 had like more specializations or like more uniqueness to them compared to other RPGs. It seems to be about the same to me. Yeah, das ist just yapping.
Aber wir nutzen den Early Access natürlich auch, um genau so ein Feedback abzuholen, was funktioniert gut, wo geht das Konzept auf, wo noch nicht. Wir werden natürlich auch Anpassungen machen können und die werden wir natürlich auch mit dem Feedback und gemeinsam mit den Spielern verbessern. Also das Ziel ist nicht, wir haben natürlich noch viel mehr in der Pipeline, als wir jetzt auch zeigen und auch als wir im initialen Early Access zeigen, aber dass wir das, was sie dann natürlich nachliefern, auch dementsprechend mit dem Feedback der Spieler verbessern und dann eben auch gemeinsam mit den Spielern weiterentwickeln.
Ich glaube, du meinst aber gar nicht eine Gegnervielfalt, sondern Gegneranzahl.
Genau, ja.
Now he's saying like, oh, but I thought you meant density and not variety. No dodging the question, Mr. Developer.
Größte alles nicht, ja. Also wirklich einfach irgendwie einmal was reinhauen und irgendwie 70 Körper fliegen weg.
Alles klar. Das ist auch tatsächlich ein Thema, da schauen wir jetzt gerade noch ein bisschen rein, da drehen wir noch mal ein bisschen rum. Genau, da haben wir zum Beispiel auch im Trailer gehört, dass es da ein bisschen Feedback gab, dass es den Leuten ein bisschen missfallen hatte, dass es ein bisschen weniger waren. Haben wir jetzt auf jeden Fall noch mal ein bisschen aufgedreht. Also das ist auch
Yeah, it's just like saying, okay, we're like basically gonna wait for feedback and then like
was wir über Early Access
tweak it depending on feedback.
Gleichermaßen sagt jemand, wer große Gegnermassen mit Diablo wartet, wird es im Titan Quest nicht
Sounds very much like a last Epoch answer to me, but I mean,
geben, hatte Teil 1 schon nicht. Also
Whatever.
es gibt auch die andere Seite der Debatte.
Genau, deswegen, die gibt es nämlich auch intern bei uns, das ist eben einfach...
Genau, aber die Debatte ist ja auch, das ist auch wert zu führen, weil wir natürlich schauen müssen, was macht auch Spaß, was ist vielleicht auch möglich noch. Es gab natürlich auch sehr bekannte Mods in der Richtung, die das auch verändert haben, aber da würden wir uns eben auch gerne vorbehalten, gemeinsam mit den Spielern am Spiel zu arbeiten. Das ist uns tatsächlich wirklich sehr wichtig, mit den Spielern eben das zu verbessern, auf dieses Feedback zu hören und eben gemeinsam auch zu evaluieren, in welche Richtung sollten wir mehr, in welche Richtung sollten wir weniger. Das wird ein großer Teil von Early Access für uns sein.
Wenn du schon Mods erwähnst, die Frage kam auch, habt ihr da was geplant?
okay, yeah, that sounds a bit too much like they wanna maybe... I mean, that sounds like a bit like last Epoch-ish, like we wanna listen to player feedback. But hopefully they know what they want their game to be in the first place, right? And then like listen to the feedback to like tweak the like to fine-tune the stuff, right? But you need like a vision yourself, which I think, I mean, if you look at the masteries and like how the systems there work, it looks like they have a decent idea, right? They have like a decent system there. But...
Modding Support.
he's asking about modding
Ist
support.
auch ein Thema, wo wir reinschauen, nicht von Anfang an, aber im
Not from the get-go, but later on.
Fall verstehen wir natürlich, dass das ein großes Anliegen ist der Leute, also wird auch beachtet werden. Sehr gut.
Eine Sache, ich muss ganz kurz
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's like a very wishy-washy question, answer, but it seems like they will actually have mod support because it's like an offline game, but not right away.
Titan Quest 1 werden es natürlich kennen. Das heißt, wir haben nicht nur unsere normalen Rarities, sondern auch die Monster Frequency, die noch
I was talking about the MI, as you can see over here, the green item.
Aber wir bringen natürlich auch klassische Elemente aus Titan Quest 1 wieder, die hoffentlich viele erkennen und lieben werden.
Kannst du mal das Item nochmal zeigen und erklären, was es genau
Genau,
ausmacht
also wir
jetzt?
haben hier die Piercing Needle Blade of Alacrity. Also
And the monster frequent base here is 4 extra pierce damage and 5% crit chance.
wir haben hier nicht nur unseren Effekt, den ich
Oh. This makes me think there is no more OADA system, by the way. This looks way more Diablo-ish. I don't know. I think our OADA system was kind of interesting.
Chance, die in dem Fall alle Blades haben,
This just seems like flat crit chance, right?
Leider glaube ich nicht. Doch, hier habe ich die Critical Hit Chance, die auf einem normalen Standard-Item liegt. Die liegt auch auf dem Monster Frequency.
So this one, okay, so the base needle blade always has crit chance, even the white one. But this one has like 4 increased pierce damage. So the EMI part of this is literally only 4 pierce damage.
zusätzlich aber noch Increased Pierce Damage und meine Affixe, die ich durch das Monster Entwicklung bekomme. Das heißt hier, wenn ich jemals ein Pierce Damage Bild machen wollte,
Piercing of Alacrity, yeah.
die ich dann mitnehmen kann und mit der ich dann eben
There's more pierce damage here and... Wait. More... Alacrity was casting speed, right? Here, it does, I mean, in Grenoble it's attack speed, but like here it's literally... It's increased casting speed and increased critical hit chance. Right, down here. It says casting speed, huh? What?
eben vielleicht sogar inspiriert werde, neuen Bild zu machen.
Und das heißt, die Target farmst du in dem
One of accuracy this?
Genau.
Maybe.
Wie man es auch schon kennt, also wir bringen alte Elemente wieder.
No relic slot, yeah, true.
Tatsächlich könnte ich auch...
It looks a bit... Honestly, TQ2 looks almost too Diablo 3/Diablo 4 inspired to me. It's in some ways, at least. I don't care about them telling me that we're listening to your feedback unless they're actually doing what they're told. Yeah. I mean, I think it's more important like devs know what they're doing in the first place. I mean, Titan Quest 1 before Ragnarok also had no plans. So.
Haben wir auch schon zu Teilen implementiert, aber es ist einfach jetzt noch zu früh, um da ganz konkret drüber zu sprechen. Initial wird es nicht mit dabei sein, aber es wird auf jeden Fall kommen.
The combat does seem not that easy though, which is good. I mean, it seems a little easy, but also did take at least some damage there.
Ja, mussten ein bisschen sparen sozusagen, was Character Creation angeht, und da haben wir jetzt, glaube ich, einiges zu bieten. Kann ich leider jetzt noch nicht genau zeigen, wird auch noch nicht Teil vom initialen Early Access sein, wobei auch da schon man jetzt nicht nur einen Helden vorgesetzt bekommen soll, da wird man auch eine Selektion haben, aber wirklich die Character Creation soll dann auch ein bisschen später folgen, wo man dann noch ein bisschen mehr Einstellungsmöglichkeiten hat. Also da, einfach weil ich auch persönlich da viel mit dran gearbeitet habe, bin ich da wirklich recht gespannt, was die Leute dazu sagen werden. Ich bin auf jeden Fall sehr hoffnungsvoll, dass es gut ankommt.
Du hattest mir ein bisschen bei unserem Vorabtermin schon gezeigt, dass ihr aber sehr viel Aufwand in das Aussehen der Items steckt. Ne? Willst du darüber ein wenig reden?
Absolut gerne. Genau, also grundsätzlich...
Okay, now they're saying like they are doing lots of investment into item creation, so he's like supposed to talk about items now.
Waffenfamilien, also zum Beispiel innerhalb der Zweihandäxte gibt es dann 3 Varianten, wir haben jeweils 3 Familien pro Waffenklasse.
There's like different families of weapons, weapon classes, like for example there's like 3 different types of axes, he's saying. Or like 3 different like types of families for actions. That's 1.5 speed. 1.5, not 2 times.
Auch so ein modulares System entwickelt, wo eigentlich alle Waffen aus mindestens 2 Versatzstücken bestehen. Also uns ist auch wichtig, dass die Spieler wirklich eine tolle Erfahrung haben, wenn sie neue Items finden, die dann auch wieder anders aussehen. Also bei dem Speer jetzt zum Beispiel sieht man, der hat eben einen Stab und ein Kopfelement und die können dann eben auch ein bisschen durchgewechselt werden. Da gibt es dann mehrere Varianten, wobei dann auch wieder im Late Game andere Versatzstücke sind als im Early Game. Also man hat auch eine visuelle Progression über die Spielzeit hinweg und genau, zusätzlich haben wir auch darauf geachtet, dass die Item-Icons selber das wieder reflektieren. Also nicht nur haben wir, dass wir die Versatzstücke...
No crossbows, no. That was ancient Greece, right? There's no crossbows at this point, really.
Auf jeden Fall viel Wert drauf gelegt, dass man eine gute Erfahrung hat bei dem Teil, der ja auch in RPGs Teil...
He's just like yapping about like how their items are fucking awesome and they made them look good and... It's important that like all items look good because they have no MTX, right? Because you pay for everything that you get. So now they're like showing off different items and like how they look like, right? Because there's no MTX, like every single item has to look good already. You never saw the staff in ancient Greece, to be honest. Yeah.
Dann hat man einmal das Krummschwert, das gerade Schwert und das ein blattförmiges Schwert. Also diese Familien unterscheiden sich optisch. Innerhalb der Familien gibt es dann ein bisschen weniger Varianten. Ich meine, Krummsäbel muss immer krumm sein. Ja. Genau, aber... Genau.
Okay. Chat scheint sehr angetan bislang zu sein, muss man sagen.
Kleines Detail, das ich ganz kurz zeigen muss. Man kann selbst die Tränke auf dem Charakter sehen. Ich liebe die Details.
Oh, you can even...
Okay, das ist...
Oh yeah, they actually... It's not like they're just there on the belt visually, but you actually like can equip and unequip your slots as well. That's kind of nice.
Okay, das ist wirklich cool. Das ist richtig witzig.
Eine Sache muss ich vielleicht noch zu den Items sagen. Man sieht es jetzt beim Stab so ein bisschen, der hat eben hier diesen Energieeffekt drauf. Uns ist auch wichtig, dass wir versuchen, so viel Gameplay visuell an den Spieler zu transportieren wie möglich.
Yeah, this one has like lightning zaps here, because like a lightning base damage staff, but there's like different styles with like different base damage, right? This is the ice staff, the other one was lightning.
Und auch wenn später man Fähigkeiten hat.
I mean, the items look, I mean, honestly, like visually the game looks very nice.
Dann würde das auch auf der Waffe reflektiert werden. Also das ist auch wieder...
Like no complaints there at all, really.
Genau. Ein kurzes Wort vielleicht noch zu den Attributen, das hat man gerade gesehen. Ich konnte meinen Eisstab nicht tragen, weil ich nicht genug Knowledge hatte. Dann, wir bringen die Attribute natürlich wieder. Sie sind natürlich auch Requirements für Items, allerdings haben wir das System ein bisschen vereinfacht und ein bisschen mehr Hybrid-Elemente mit reingebracht. Also wie man hier schon sieht, wir haben die 3 Elemente, Might, Agility und Knowledge, die man natürlich mit Stärke...
So, he's saying they brought in like hybrid elements and they kind of made the attributes more simple. I mean, Titan Quest 1 attributes weren't like, or like Grim Dawn attributes aren't like really complex either. So I don't know why he's saying like they're more simple. I guess there's no like energy that you can level up like in Titan Quest 1, but compared to Grim Dawn, this is fine. Like this is
Bei uns allerdings nicht ganz. Wir haben zusätzlich erstmal noch ein viertes, nämlich Vigor. Das ist ein defensives.
Das ist really fine.
Might ist zuständig dafür, dass ich Herde zuschlagen kann, vielleicht Modifier anlocke, damit ich nicht mehr Schaden mache. Heavy Armor, die ich dann tragen kann. Knowledge eben genau auf die andere Seite der Medaille, wo ich dann Roben tragen kann und eher in die Magie-Richtung gehe. Allerdings, wie man hier schön sehen kann, wenn ich jetzt Knowledge increase und wenn ich Might increase, geht hier ein anderes Attribut hoch, nämlich Resolve. Das kann ich selber nicht beeinflussen.
Resolves Fire and Cold Damage, ja.
Oder Knowledge beeinflusse. Das macht mein Fire und Cold Damage besser. Wir haben jetzt hier gerade
It's approved by Might and Knowledge, Cunning is Poison and Lightning.
Gehe ich in die Magierroute und nehme diesen Stab oder gehe ich in die Battlemage-Route und nehme meine Schwerter oder Echse mit Might und egal, wofür ich mich entscheide, ich kann über beide Wege gehen und andersrum, ich könnte Knowledge nehmen für Resolve und sagen, Might interessiert mich nicht so sehr, ich will noch schneller sein, könnte Knowledge und Agility kombinieren, um dazu zusätzlich noch Cunning zu bekommen und mein
Cunning is Poison and Lightning.
noch zu verbessern und dann noch mehr in Storm reinzugehen. Also das ist cool. Das System erlaubt viel mehr Hybridlösungen und viel mehr Theory Crafting. Gleichzeitig natürlich ist es mir auch einfach möglich zu sagen, okay, ich möchte Magier spielen, Knowledge bringt mir das, macht meine Skills besser und dabei bleibe ich einfach. Und ich mache das jetzt einfach mal. Man hat auch zwischenzeitlich gesehen, vielleicht, ich habe jetzt meinen Stab und ich habe meinen Stab ein bisschen verbessert. Ich habe hier mehrere Projektile, weil ich mir gedacht habe,
And I wonder like how scaling is gonna be like in this game. Like how resistances of enemies will force you to like doing different types of damage or not. Or like it's all gonna be like about scaling one type of damage.
Nur, dass ich jetzt eben einen Stab benutze statt Schwert und Schild.
Hammer, könnt ihr bitte morgen in den Early Access starten, sagt der Chat.
Ein bisschen Zeit brauchen wir noch.
Ja, zum Timing habe ich jetzt noch eine gemeine Frage, aber ich glaube, der Elefant steht im Raum. Wie wollt ihr euch positionieren? Ihr kommt, wenn ihr Winter sagt, wahrscheinlich nach dem Diablo 4 Add-on und Path of Exile 2 raus. Ihr habt euch sehr gefreut über die Ankündigung des Path of Exile 2 Early Access oder Beta-Release-Termins. Wie seht ihr euch da aufgestellt? Wo seht ihr eure Nische?
Yeah, he's asking about like when they're supposed to, like when they're gonna release their early access, right? Because of PoE 2 early access as well as D4 expansion.
Genau, also beim Zeitpunkt selber, deswegen müssen wir da auch noch ein bisschen vage sein, wollen wir uns natürlich positionieren irgendwie, wo es Sinn macht. Wir erkennen natürlich an, dass es da andere ganz spannende Spiele gibt noch auf dem Markt. Wir sehen uns aber da auf jeden Fall ein bisschen nebenan, dadurch, dass wir auch den Premium-Aspekt verfolgen und gar nicht so in dieses Season-Thema mit rein wollen.
So on one hand, they don't see themselves as like direct competitors because they're like buy to play and not. I mean, Diablo 4 is like buy everything, right? Buy the game, buy everything in game as well, MTX on top.
Genau, da kann man ja vielleicht sagen, jetzt ist aber in Titan Quest auch gerade eine neue Mastery im Early Access dazugekommen, da habe ich eigentlich Bock drauf, da habe ich jetzt gewartet, mein Necromancer-Bild ist jetzt endlich eine Möglichkeit, dann wäre das auf jeden Fall eine Option.
Okay, ja.
But yeah, they're saying like, I mean, they're buy to play, so
Du hast es jetzt gerade kurz angesprochen mit Seasons, das heißt, die sind auch...
they might not care too much about like the other releases of PoE 2 and D4, but I think for early access they're gonna like release after D4 and PoE 2.
War jetzt bei Last Epoch schon sehr angenehm, dass die es genau geschafft haben, dass man einen Monat Path of Exile, einen Monat Diablo, einen Monat Last Epoch spielen konnte und dann war immer so, man hat immer eine Season gehabt zum Zocken. Das wäre eigentlich dann auch für euch eigentlich ganz praktisch so mit dem Wechsel, oder?
Genau, also eben...
He's comparing like how, like when people are supposed to like play this game, like 1 month of Path of Exile, 1 month of D4, 1 month of Last Epoch is like his example. Or I guess you can like do a cycle relaunch of Last Epoch as well.
Wie wir jetzt genau die Updates timen, das müssen wir nochmal schauen. Aber genau dadurch, dass wir nicht diesen Druck von den
Yeah, and
genau, ein bisschen gucken müssen wir natürlich
they don't know like how exactly their update cycle is gonna be yet.
Keine Seasons, meines
Genau, die haben keine Seasons.
But they will not have any seasons.
Genau, also ihr macht
Right,
das
no
bewusst sich-
seasons.
Auch, also ich finde es einerseits cool, andererseits mutig. Ihr geht da durchaus bewusst einen anderen Weg als die anderen Genrevertreter, ein bisschen einen klassischeren. Dürfte, glaube ich, auch natürlich manche alten Fans erfreuen. Ich finde es eigentlich, ehrlich gesagt, ganz angenehm, dass mal jemand sagt, wir machen ein ARPG ohne all den Kram. Aber kann natürlich auch sein, dass das auch Spieler verliert, die das inzwischen, weil es sich ja sehr durchgesetzt hat, muss man sagen, ne, auf dem Markt.
Klar, das stimmt, aber ich glaube, jede Entscheidung, die man trifft als Spieleentwickler, birgt immer die Option, dass man Spieler verliert oder Spieler gewinnt. Also ich glaube, da wird man dann einfach gucken müssen, wo man landet.
Chat ist auf eurer Seite, ist auch gut so soll Titan Quest 2 sein. Seasons stressen nur, finde ich gut, dass es keine Seasons gibt. Ich mag Seasons auch nicht. Ja, okay, Seasons bringen nur FOMO. Also wenn ihr eure Fanbase sucht,
Okay,
da ist sie,
yeah.
in diesem Chat.
The Titan Quest. I mean, I think it's fine to not have like seasons and stuff if you're like a Titan Quest 2. If you like another new ARPG that has no legacy, I think you probably wanna do like a season style online stuff, like online mode. But if you are a successor to a game that already has a offline legacy basically, then it's totally fine to do it like this. Right, to not have seasons to be like offline only. I mean, to have like some couch co-op, of course, maybe on top, maybe some like peer-to-peer multiplayer. That's totally fine for a game like this.
Es wurde vorher übrigens gefragt, sieht man sogar Ringe und Amulette am Charakter. Als er mit dem Trank kam,
No seasons, no leaderboards. I mean, it's like Titan Quest 1 and Grim Dawn in that aspect, right?
Wäre ein interessanter Impuls für im Early
da hast
Access
du das
auf jeden
jetzt als
Fall.
Challenge hier mitbekommen.
Gleich mitgenommen.
Immer gibst du ihnen den kleinen Finger, wollen sie die ganze Hand.
So, jetzt haben wir
At
festgestellt,
least for now, right? It's kind of early into like.
Das ist kein Boss-Charakter, das ist kein Boss, aber schon ein stärkerer Encounter und ich muss mir ganz schön Gedanken machen, was ich hier tue.
Holy fuck, he instant died.
Jetzt bin ich doch gestorben.
He died to some necromancer.
Ein Ding ist, und zwar, man wird sterben, es gehört zu RPGs einfach dazu, auch mal fehlzuschlagen. In dem Moment ist es aber nicht so schlimm. Normalerweise rennt man natürlich zurück.
Okay, so now he's like showcasing like when you die, right? What happens then?
Denkt sich, jetzt darf ich den Walk of Shame machen, den man so schön kennt. Wir haben uns aber ein System
There's no walk of shame apparently.
gedacht, um das Ganze ein bisschen zu vereinfachen. Wir werden hier auf unseren Waypoint klicken und sehen hier nach unserem Charakternamen benannt natürlich. Wir können einfach zum Ort des Geschehens zurückkehren.
So whenever you die, you leave behind like a waystone basically.
Und zwar der Encounter Respawn. Wir müssen es neu versuchen. Wir können nicht
And you can literally port back to where you died. But everything around you is gonna be like healed up to full, right? So you can't like corpse run something.
sondern wir müssen diesen Encounter irgendwie schlagen.
Which is kind of
Und
nice, I
wir schaffen es
think.
natürlich, wenn wir jetzt, wir müssen immer noch aufpassen, aber wenn wir uns ein bisschen Mühe geben.
Der ist ja auch optisch richtig cool. Der Skill gerade sah sehr schön aus.
Genau, diese Leader-Charakter werden natürlich auch gefeiert. Natürlich jetzt habe ich natürlich auch, in diesem Bild ist alles nicht so challenging, aber wenn man da eben nicht aufpasst, so wie eben, dann kann es schon schnell um ein Geschehen sein. Wir werden aber natürlich auch wirklich echte Chapter-Bosses haben. Also wir werden richtige Boss-Arenen haben mit richtigen Bossen, die coole Mechanics.
The penalty for dying is having to... I don't know, I mean, re-attack the enemy.
haben, die ein bisschen intensivere Fights auch.
I mean, just play hardcore if you want like a real like penalty, I guess. I mean, what's the penalty if you like die in Titan Quest and softcore, right? The only thing is like the walk of shame, right? Like, what's the actual penalty? Wait, did you lose XP? Did he lose XP when he died? Oh yeah, he did lose XP actually. Yeah, if you look at the XP bar, he did lose XP. Yep. Okay, so you lose XP and the enemies heal.
Diese Charakterbosse, die einfach random auftreten und die durch vielleicht kleine Sidequests spielbar sind, sondern auch richtige Chapterbosses am Ende.
Wie sieht es denn aus mit Hardcore-Modus?
Hardcore-Modus ist auf jeden Fall was, worüber wir sprechen. Ich glaube, da kann man mit planen.
Okay, like he was asking about hardcore and he was saying hardcore is something we can definitely talk about later, and that sounds like a 95% yes. Or like 99% yes rather. Like you can back on hardcore pretty much, yeah.
Jetzt ist ja, da ihr ja ohne Seasons plant, erstmal, wie sieht's aus mit der Länge der Kampagne? Wie viel Spielzeit steckt drin?
Genau, grundsätzlich im Early Access Release planen wir mit 12 Stunden Spielzeit, wenn man einfach Completion
How long is the campaign gonna be? He says like around 12 hours for early access and then longer later.
einmal durchläuft mit einem Bild. Wenn man natürlich mehr mit den Masteries rumprobieren will, kann da auch mehr bei rumkommen. Finale Spielzeit, das hängt wirklich einfach ein bisschen vom Early Access ab. Ich glaube, ich denke definitiv, dass wir uns mit anderen RPGs messen können, aber da kann ich jetzt noch keine konkrete Aussage zu.
Okay.
Sehr oft gefragt wurde, wenn wir auch gerade schon bei Kampagne sind, ob es deutsche Sprachausgabe geben wird.
Ja, deutsche Sprachausgabe, englische
Is there gonna be...
Sprachausgabe wird es geben. Subtitles, da werden wir noch mal gucken.
Yeah, voice is gonna be English and German, and then subtitles for other languages as well.
Das würde ich mal so als groben Fixpunkt anpeilen.
12 Force 3 war auch sehr gut synchronisiert, muss man sagen. In beiden Sprachen hatte das echt gute Sprecher, also da bin ich dann auch relativ optimistisch.
No Greek. What the fuck? No ancient Greek.
Das ist ja nicht mehr so selbstverständlich. Dann wollen Leute auf den Pegasus reiten. Habt ihr Pegasus-Mounts? Oder Mounts allgemein?
Pegasus-Mount habt ihr auf jeden Fall schon mehrfach in der Firma gehört.
Are there gonna be mounts? There is a Pegasus mount apparently.
Wir spielen sehr viel mit dem Gedanken von dem Mount rum. Wir haben da auch schon drüber geschrieben. Das wird jetzt noch nicht Teil von Early Access sein. Wo wird es ganz genau
But they are just thinking about it and it's not gonna be in early access. I personally think mounts are dog shit.
Kann ich jetzt an dem Zeitpunkt noch nicht sagen. Da werden sich die Leute einfach gedulden müssen noch ein bisschen.
So I hope they don't do mounts.
Noch weitere Fragen an die Entwickler. Vielleicht hast du noch Fragen, die dir auf der Seele brennen?
Ich habe schon relativ viel stellen können tatsächlich. Es wurde auch schon mit den Vergleichen jetzt irgendwie sehr viel erklärt. Für den Augenblick noch nicht. Ich meine, vorhin wurde mir auch gefragt, ob ich Zeus verprügeln kann. Und das würde mich tatsächlich auch sehr interessieren. Da ihr schon in der Mythologie spielt, wie viele mythologische Monster, Gegner, Götter sind da?
Like, unless you have shitty waypoints in your RPG and you have like shitty density and uninteresting enemies, then why do you need mounts, right?
Die nicht begegnet oder nicht bekämpfen kann. Wie viele mythologische Figuren?
Natürlich, genau, also wird auf jeden Fall ein großes Thema werden. Hier sind es jetzt eben gerade die
Yeah, Grimlore Games is actually based in Munich, so I kind of want to write them actually and maybe, I don't know. Maybe I can do something with them. Who knows? Maybe I can ask them to become like a part of their team. Who knows?
Einerseits Lootfilter, andererseits Transmog.
Genau, vielleicht sag ich kurz was zu Transmog und dann Kevin, du könntest was zum Loot generell sagen.
Jawohl.
Also Transmog auf jeden Fall was wir auch vorhaben. Da
Who knows?
persönlich habe ich da Interesse dran, dass wir das hinbekommen. Auch wieder nicht Early Access, aber ist auf jeden Fall was wir auf dem Schirm haben.
No loot filter in early access, but they want to make it happen.
Schon so viel Mühe gibt es mit dem ganzen Item-Design, ne, wäre es ja auch verschwendet, wenn das nicht
Oder?
ginge. Ja, eben.
Genau, also Lootfilter, wir wollen natürlich auch modernisieren. Also das heißt, wir werden viele Features mitbringen, die die Spieler gewohnt sind. Zum Early Access werden wir es noch nicht haben. Allerdings werden wir evaluieren, in welcher Form und wie genau wir das eben machen werden. Genauso wie Suchfeatures im Mastery Tree. Wir kennen natürlich, wir spielen natürlich auch alle selber moderne RPGs und wir wollen diese Modernisierung
Dude, I could like voice act, right? Yeah, of course. Can you survive my storms? Whoa.
auch nach Titan Quest bringen. Wir starten allerdings erstmal mit der Foundation und im Laufe des Early Access werden wir natürlich auch die ganzen Komfort-Features, die das Bildcraften auch für Casuals, nicht nur für Profis natürlich einfacher machen sollen, werden wir natürlich auch langfristig anbieten. Genau wie wir jetzt übrigens hier sehen, wir haben die Villager gesaved, wir sind der Held des Tages.
Sehr gut.
Das ist natürlich alles geschafft. Mopsus ist leider nicht hier. Ich weiß nicht, ob er es schafft alleine, aber naja.
I mean, name me one good thing about mounts. I don't get it.
Ja, der wird
Like, what's good about them? Like, what's a good thing about a mount in an ARPG?
sicher fühlen.
Lets you go past annoying mobs and away from point A to B.
Story aber linear?
Ja, die Story ist linear geplant. Wie gesagt, man wird viele Nebenstories finden können, wenn man links und rechts schaut, aber die eigentliche Story ist linear. Da kann ich vielleicht noch ganz kurz was zur Open World sagen oder wie wir das interpretieren.
Like for target farming, you mean?
Also anders als Titan Quest 1 werden wir jetzt nicht nur, zumindest wie das Originalspiel, wir werden uns ein bisschen mehr an den Add-ons orientieren. Originalspiel war eher so ein richtig breiter Schlauch, wo man zwar ein bisschen links und rechts gehen konnte, aber wir werden auf jeden Fall auch Gebiete haben, die man einfach wirklich frei erkunden kann. Genau.
A mule mount to send back and auto-sell items.
Wie man jetzt hier schön sehen kann, wir sehen jetzt dieselbe Area, die wir vorher bei Tag gesehen haben, nochmal bei Nacht und sehen natürlich, das Look and Feel ist direkt anders. Hier sieht man die schönen breiten Areale nochmal. Also
Talking about like day and night cycle, right? He's just like showing off the beach at night again. There's like no mobs now because we already killed all of them.
Auf jeden Fall lohnt sich ein bisschen umzuschauen und den Space natürlich auch zu nutzen.
Der Zoom-Out ist toll, wird gesagt im Chat. Gibt es kein
Oh yeah, the zoom level is pretty nice. I also agree. The zoom is way better than PoE and LE, of course. It's similar to like classic Titan Quest and Grim Dawn. I think there is no camera rotation, which I guess is just like Titan Quest 1, but not like Grim Dawn.
Wir werden das Artefakt-System in irgendeiner
Imagine killing mobs in a game, right? Yeah,
Das
imagine.
Thema Crafting ist noch ein Thema für uns. Wir reden darüber intern und in welcher Form wir das genau zurückbringen und wie exakt das für uns aussieht, werden wir auf jeden Fall im Laufe des Early Access noch zeigen. Wir haben da schon ein bisschen was in der Hinterhand, sind aber noch nicht ganz bereit, darüber zu sprechen. Aber natürlich viele Item-Features, die wir auch in Titan Quest 1 geliebt haben, werden wir in einer Form zurückbringen.
Dann wird nach Level-Scaling gefragt. Wie wollt ihr damit umgehen, dass man zurückgehen kann in alte Gebiete? Wie richten sich Gebiete nach dem Charakter?
Oh yeah, how's the level scaling gonna be? How's it like going back to old areas gonna feel like?
Genau, da haben wir das sogenannte Ritual System. Also wir werden durch Rituale Möglichkeit haben, als Spieler die Welt zu beeinflussen.
So they're talking about the ritual system. Ritual system sounds like a lot like a ascendant altar system and or the system from Titan Quest 1 with the altars, I think, whatever it's called. We can also like influence your map, like your areas.
Eben die Gegner, die in den einzelnen Gebieten ein eingestelltes Level haben, also die scalen nicht automatisch mit, sondern
So yeah, enemies don't scale automatically, but then I guess like with this ritual system you can make them scale and or you can influence them to be like harder and like drop more items.
man kann definitiv overpowered in ein Gebiet reinkommen, hat dann eben Gegner, die auch nur schlechteren Loot droppen, aber hat dann eine gute Zeit. Aber wenn man dann eben sagen will, nee, ich würde gerne hier Target Farming betreiben, die ich weiß, die zum Beispiel droppen Waffen, die Poison Damage unterstützen, dann kann man sich den Ichtien-Strand vom Gebiet her nochmal durch so ein Ritual auf das Player-Level hochziehen, damit man wieder relevanten Loot auch aus den alten Gebieten
Cool. Okay.
This is really good, honestly. I mean, he's basically saying, so this is also like really, really good if you want to have an ARPG where the story continues to matter and it's only one difficulty, right? So you have a fixed level scaling by default. So like the first time you're like playing through a story, right, you can like over level and so on if you want to, and you're not getting punished by like leveling more than the enemy. This is Unreal Engine 5, which is something that people were complaining about in Grim Dawn, right? Because like in Grim Dawn you can't like out level enemies really, only after a certain point. But on the other hand, right, once you like want to do like target farming and you want to like get an item appropriate to your level, you can then use the ritual system to like bring up that area again up to your level. So this is a really, really nice mix of the two, having a like default being non-level scaling, and then you can increase the level with like an optional mode, basically, like whether it's like taking a veteran box in Grim Dawn, or in this case you like go to a ritual altar and then you interact with it and you push up the level of an area. It's very nice.
Das finde ich schön.
I like it.
Übrigens, ein wenig, es wird angemerkt, das Denglisch der beiden Entwickler, da kann ich mal erklären, Leute, die meisten Entwickler sprechen ziemliches Denglisch und das liegt daran, dass Spielentwicklung, ich bin sicher auch bei euch, halt weitgehend auf Englisch abläuft und du sehr oft selbst in eigentlich deutschen Studios internationale Teams hast und die Begriffe oft auch, selbst Volker Wertig, der Siedlererfinder, muss inzwischen, wenn er mir über Pioneers erzählt, der kommt mit den englischen Begriffen. Urdeutscher geht's ja kaum, als der Siedlererfinder, der sein neues Aufbauspiel vorstellt, aber selbst der macht halt sein Spiel auf Englisch primär und für euch sind das auch die Titel. Ne? Also,
Maybe that's it should increase over time if you don't trim it down. Yeah, I mean, if they do the ritual system right, there should be ways to increase the level to your level, like to make them all enemies scale to your level, make enemy density, for example, maybe higher as well, and stuff like that, right? It's kind of like how you do. It's kind of like map modifiers, I guess, just like for the campaign, right? Like that would be all you need, I think, for a game like this. No, they're just like talking about like why are the developers talking so much Denglish, right? Like a mix of German and English. I mean, it's just like how it is, right? Game development is in English, so like people always talk like a mix of German and English, even when they're like speaking German.
Außerdem ist halt auch einfach dann die deutsche Sprache, muss man auch sagen, manchmal etwas uneleganter, um Dinge schnell zu sagen. Deswegen, ja, wir schreiben ja auch einfach Decks.
You could tie intensity to level. You could. You could. Not sure if that's the right way to do it, but you could, yeah.
Gut, die Frage kommt immer wieder, aber nee, es gibt noch kein Datum zum Early Access. Es gibt Winter 2024 und ihr überlegt euch noch...
You speak so much English it starts to fuck with my German. Yeah, same here sometimes. Like I know some words in English, but I forgot them in German. Like I have to like think more about the German word than the English word. It's kind of interesting.
Benedikt, sag doch du mal was, meine Stimme ist kaputt. Du musst einspringen.
Irgendwie sollte ich schon Milch mit Honig bringen, aber...
Oder das?
Hatte ich nicht vor. Aber tatsächlich noch eine Frage zur Itemization, weil das jetzt natürlich, ihr habt viel Wert aufs Äußere gelegt.
Yeah, so doing one more itemization question.
Wo bekomme ich die eigentlich her? Ich meine, in Diablo 2 war ich damals in den Ballruns unterwegs, jetzt in Diablo 4 habe ich haufenweise Endgame-Content, in anderen dann auch.
He's saying, how do I get like gear, right? In Diablo 2 you did like beta runs. In Diablo 4 you have like tons of endgame. And like the second he said like in Diablo 4 you have tons of endgame, this guy like looked over in like a kind of like confused way. Like look at this, right? Like how he looks over.
Endgame-Content, in anderen dann auch.
It's like, what? Diablo 4 endgame content, what?
Grinde ich bei euch?
Also man kann natürlich an gewissen Gebieten grinden, für die Monster-Equipments zum Beispiel. Wir haben aber die Uniques natürlich auch im Laufe der Kampagne versteckt teilweise oder man muss besondere Erlebnisse machen oder einfach die Kampagne weiterspielen und dann findet man das eine oder andere Unique auch schon so. Das heißt, wir
yeah, he's basically saying the first way to grind items in this game is gonna be like campaign farming, target farming, just like in Titan Quest and Chrome Dawn, but hopefully with that ritual system to like, you know, make the density higher, to make your level high, like the level of enemies higher and to like increase drop chances.
Dieser Loot-Grind, der beginnt eigentlich schon bei Level 1. Das heißt, wenn ich weiß, wo ich hin muss, welche Secrets ich schon hin muss, beim zweiten, dritten Mal weiß ich vielleicht schon, ab wann ich das gewisse Unique habe, kann ein bisschen vorausplanen. Beim ersten Mal wollen wir diesen Exploration-Faktor einfach haben, dass ich sage, okay, ich weiß nicht, wo ich bin, ich weiß nicht, was ich hier mache, ich spiele durch die Kampagne, aber...
Yeah, I can get behind a mount making sense, like once you basically defeat the final campaign boss.
Da hinten ist dieser Pfad und den gehe ich jetzt mal und da ist das Unique. Und natürlich kann ich auch entscheiden, okay, ich mag die Uniques und Monster Frequency der Igdia, dann farme ich die Igdia. Und mit den Ritualen vielleicht in Kombination kann ich sagen, okay, ich target farme da sogar noch viel mehr. Also wir haben da den Fokus nicht auf, das Spiel beginnt, wenn ich mit Level 50 endlich durch die Kampagne durch bin, sondern das Spiel beginnt wirklich in dem Moment, in dem ich gestartet habe, meine Mastery gepickt habe und sage, okay, jetzt geht's los, jetzt farme ich und jetzt baue ich mein Bild und ich baue den vielleicht immer wieder sogar neu oder ich habe mich schnell eingeschossen und finde immer wieder neue coole Items, die es noch cooler machen, eben während der Kampagne schon. Und da finde ich dann auch eben die Items und manchmal finde ich die coole Stelle, sagt, hier grinde ich jetzt, hier hole ich mein Loot und dann mache ich weiter.
Das heißt aber auch, wenn ich jetzt einen Unique schon relativ früh finden würde und das für mein Bild cool ist, aber dann später einfach von der Item-Power her überlevelt wird von irgendeinem anderen Schwert, was auch immer, würde ich das austauschen und einem anderen Bild versuchen. Genau, und da haben wir natürlich auch Systeme im Petto oder geplant, wo wir dann sagen, vielleicht kann man das auch vielleicht weitertragen, vielleicht gibt es da Wege, das noch zu verbessern. Da kann ich noch nicht so viel sagen, wie gesagt, Crafting wird noch groß gearbeitet, aber ja, da haben wir vielleicht auch Systeme, wie wir das so noch weitertragen können.
Yeah, they have nothing to say about crafting so far. All of the items are basically drops only right now, and yeah, the ways you get items are killing enemies in the zones of the campaign over and over. And you can increase the chances of getting the right item for your level as well by like rituals, right? That's their plan for now.
Dann vielen Dank euch für die Vorstellung.
Okay, that's like thank you, blah blah blah. Okay, and that seems honestly like a pretty decent baseline to go from, right? That seems I think like a good base, but this is still like very early, right? Like you saw 2 masteries with both of them only having like the first tier unlocked and nothing else. They would have more than 3 for early access, and they will have, I would assume, maybe something like 6 or 7 by the end, like until the release. I would assume maybe 6 or more, and then items for all those classes and how many acts, how long the story is gonna be in the end. For full release, we don't know yet. 12 hours for early access. I think it all looks pretty good. I'm a little afraid the itemization might be a bit too simple and like a bit too Diablo-like. It looks very Diablo-like right now, honestly. And yeah, there's no like interesting system like devotion system in Grim Dawn. I mean, Titan Quest 1 also didn't have that. The item, I mean, everything looks fine though, I would say. I think they could like put another more interesting system like for building the character on top later on. But yeah, as a baseline, that seems fine. What do you guys think? It might be a simple change, but what if you just scale the enemies to your level in the quest as well, and after a certain player level enemy levels passes the player? That's like kind of how Grim Dawn does it, right? I think having fixed level for zones is fine for like first playthrough, or like for the default, and then you increase it with like riches. I think that's very fine. Animation / skill effects could use some more work. I think some animations maybe, yeah. I think the skill effects look kind of fine. They're like not overly flashy. I don't think the ARPG needs to like look like PoE. It's kind of yeah. I mean, it's just campaign right now. It looks like a Diablo 3 campaign, right? Kind of. The leap looks pretty bad. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see in early access, but I think the design of the levels is nice. The item design is really nice. The skill design looks in its core pretty good. The zoom level is perfect. The item slots are, I guess, okay. I mean, there's no relic. Yeah, it might be like a bit too... I mean, yeah. Overall, I would say it's rather on the shallow side, right? It's a bit on the shallow side overall. But it looks pretty nice. Looks 1,000 times better than Ellie already. I mean, visually, definitely. And then animation and skill-wise, for sure, for sure. I mean, it might be basically just like what Titan Quest 1 is, to me at least. Like a nice campaign playthrough, and then you put it aside until the next update, which is also fine. Depends like how they do itemization and like how much replayability that adds. I mean, even Grim Dawn 1 vanilla, honestly, like to me was rather basic, so to say. Like the real the real like depth came with Ashes of Mammoth for me personally. All right. I'll take 4 more minutes today actually to talk about today's sponsor. Haha. Now I'll stream some Grim Dawn tomorrow and talk about like Grim Dawn season development stuff, I guess, more tomorrow. I gotta go soon, but I do have one quick 4-minute ad, I guess, that I do wanna pull through real quick because all this money is gonna also, you know, benefit Grim Dawn development. So I should take what I can get here, right? I guess. Where the fuck do I do that even? How the fuck does this work now? Yeah, here it is. More Frit ads. Now today. Alright, today we're gonna talk about Bepanthen Augentropfen. Okay, so these are like eye drops, right, from Bayer, apparently, which are like esports proven, apparently. So, right, if you have like problems with your eyes, you have like dry eyes, then you should like definitely get Bepanthen like eye drops, apparently. The site is in German. As you can see, right, there's like tons of stuff here that is being said about these eye drops, and it says like, okay, so like what kind of eye problems do esporters have, right? And it's mostly like a dry eye problem, right? And for example, the pro gamers from Bayer Leverkusen, right? They use these eye drops right here, these Bepanthes eye drops, right? And if you also suffer from dry eyes, and if you are a gamer, then you might want to get these, right? Or if my bright screen is actually causing eye problems for you right now, then you should also like maybe order them right now. I don't know. So it's using dexpanthenol, right? And you can like look that one up. Also, hyaluronic acid, I guess. You can like look these up as well. These are like the stuff, like the stuff that's just like using for the eye drops, and you can like use them 3 to 5 times a day, right? If you want to. It seems very legit, right? Use them because science. Yeah, I mean, science says it's good, and I mean, I studied biochemistry as well at some point. I can say those things are probably fine to use. At least according to what I learned. And then they also want me here to talk some more about the effects of this, right? So these eye drops, they actually calm your eyes, they make them more wet again, right, if they're too dry. And what else can you do as well to keep your eyes fit? You can not only take these eye drops, but you can also do eye yoga. Right, eye yoga. You can like watch this video here, for example, right? I'll link this one, I guess, in chat as well, because that's what like people need to look at here when I'm doing this. And there's some eye yoga, there's some other things you can do. These are approved by professional esport gamers from Bayer Leverkusen, right? Actually, I did this one as a kid as well. I just remember. Like I mean, I have glasses, right? So people like eye doctors also like told me there's like some exercises you can do with your eyes so that like your eyes don't go all too bad all too quickly, like the older you get. And yeah, you can do these, right? Like, you know, like looking at a picture that's like close to you for a couple of seconds, then like further away for a couple of seconds, and like basically that's like training your eye muscle, the one that's like contracting your lenses, I think, or something like that. It's kind of like going to the gym for your eyes in a way. Yeah. And then what else is there? Eye dominance exercise here. Maybe there's like an English version of this website as well. I don't know. They linked me the German website, so we're gonna talk about the German website here. There's the fusion exercise as well, right? There's the accommodation exercise. There's a couple of exercises here, right? If you can speak German, if you can read German, like try out these exercises. They're apparently like really good. I did, as I said, like do I think at least this one a couple of times actually when I was like a kid. So maybe because of that, my eyes aren't quite as bad as they would be otherwise. But yeah, otherwise, if you have like tearing or dry eyes because you are, you know, looking at the bright screen all too much because of this website being in total white, for example, and you're watching my stream while also gaming, then yeah, get these eye drops, these Bepanthen eye drops from Bayer. Order them now, right? Alright, that's it. That's it for today's sponsor, I guess. I'm the best marketing expert ever, said nobody probably in chat, but yeah. This is a quick fund for the Grim Dawn seasons, which are gonna happen at some point later this year. Hopefully not all that far into the future. Actually, we are currently planning to release the season probably at some point early October, I think. When is the flippin' Diablo 4 launch of the DLC? Oh, it's also early October. I mean, it's only D4, right? Who cares about D4? I mean, we're not gonna do like literally the same weekend as D4, of course, right? We're gonna do either like 1 week after or before the launch, I guess. That is, I think, the current plan-ish. Yeah, we'll see. I think PoE 2 beta launch is way more important, right? Which I think is like, when was it, like 15th of November? That one is a bit more important. So doing like an October-ish launch or like late September, maybe even, we'll see. How fast we're gonna be is gonna be way more appropriate for Grim Dawn. for the Grim Dawn Season 7, which is gonna last pretty much actually quite a long time, I think, because as far as I know from Zantine, there is not gonna be any more like game-breaking patches until Fangs of Astakarn, but only like maybe 1 or 2 more balance patches. What's the version we're on right now? It's 1.2.1, right? No, it's like 1.2.1.3 or something like that, or 1.2.1.2, I think. Hello? And hotfixes. Oh yeah, it's okay. There's a 1.2.1.2. Okay, yeah. So as far as I know, from Zentai at least himself, there's only gonna be like one slightly bigger balance patch, but no like game-breaking patch like the 1.2.0 or the 1.2.1 patch before Fangs of Astakarn. So yeah, hopefully we won't have to like stop the next league early again, which is gonna be kind of nice. So we can just keep on running Season 7 for our like fully planned amount, or maybe even like until Fangs of Astakarn release, right? That's very nice. Anyway, I gotta go for today. I'll be back tomorrow or on Wednesday. I'll let you guys know on Discord as always when I'm gonna be live again. I'll try to, as long as I'm not actually having any lectures, try to like probably stream 3 times a week even. At least during the week, maybe like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, something like that, or like maybe Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't quite know exactly when. I might do like a development stream once or twice as well. So not all 3 streams are gonna be like gameplay. I mean, today was like literally no gameplay as well. I'll try to like do 1 gameplay stream per week at least, and then the other 1 or 2 is gonna be either gameplay or modding or like some reaction stuff like today. But I think we pretty much like covered all the interesting stuff, unless I want to do like Gothic reactions as well. But I mean, while I'm also like pretty hyped for the Gothic remake, actually it looks pretty good so far. I'm aware that like not everybody of my viewers is gonna be as hyped about Gothic, and there are other channels for that, right? Yeah, anyway, Titan Quest 2 looks pretty decent, I would say, very early still, but it's at least like a very nice and visually pleasing RPG that, yeah, seems promising, at least more interesting than Diablo 4. Also has like 8 skills. The skill system seems pretty interesting. The itemization seems kind of basic, which is I guess fine for a baseline, but hopefully there's gonna be like maybe like another system on top, like a devotion system like in Grim Dawn or something like that. We can only hope, right? You can only hope. What is this? Yeah, okay. Oh yeah.
So, here we are, far away from your friend Diego. I'm to send you regards from Bloodwind.
Oh my god.
Don't try that again.
Of course. Wait, they're stealing away my...
ore,
oh my god.
hero.
Thanks for the ore, you hero. These fuckers, dude. What is Matt doing? I thought he was maybe like gonna help me at least. He's fucking useless as well.
This is real fun. Thanks for taking me with you. We could do that more often. There's loads of more time left today.
The nerve of this guy. The fucking nerve of this guy, dude. This is real fun. Yeah, it was real fucking fun indeed. Okay, is anybody like streaming Grim Dawn even, or just like a dead game? Dead game until tomorrow, I guess. Who the fuck are these people? Let's just say hello to Mary, I guess. He's not playing. I don't know what he's playing though. Oh yeah, Darth microtransactions actually played Grim Dawn, right? That's kind of cool. So maybe like some more people are gonna actually like play Grim Dawn soonish. Anyway, take care guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you around on the next one, which is, as I said, like either gonna be tomorrow or on Wednesday. Take care guys. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much for all the support. Thanks for all the subs and follows. And I'll catch you around on the next one. Bye bye.